And once again, welcome back here. Sorry about that. Some technical difficulties once again. You know how the internet can be sometimes. It's just a little bit fickle. Lost the internet briefly. We're back. And, of course, I've got some information about for you. The Waynesville offense, unfortunately, sputtering out. Got a second chance at life. Had a fourth down. An interference call running into the kicker. Gave him a whole new set of downs. But they get stuffed. A turnover on downs. As the Vikings have the ball. First down and 10 on their own 41-yard line. So back to it here as Nunda pitches out to the left. It's going to be Harris with the football. Gets to about the 43-yard line before he's taken down. It's going to be a gain of about 2 or 3 here on first down.
And I'm already impressed by the way Cam Harris runs. Usually in this high school level, you either have a guy who's really athletic, really quick, really shifty, or a guy who's a big-time power back. Right now, Harris showing a little bit of both with a big stiff arm to get positive yardage there.
So that's going to set up second down here in about 7. Again, still a scoreless ball game. Another 3 minutes have run off the clock. 6:25. Nunda with the snap, going to hand it off, but this time the Waynesville defensive line immediately breaks through. That's going to be a loss. Maybe a couple yards on the loss here. That's going to set up third down and long. Good effort there. Waynesville defensive line just simply breaking on through.
Yeah, and that's going to be, again, the story of this game. Like we said in the pregame, this offense kind of lives and dies by what Cam Harris can do. If he can start penetrating with those runs, it opens up the passing game. But if not, it's going to be a big, big problem for the team. And we'll see if Waynesville can keep on limiting their offense.
Empty backfield. It's going to be a wide receiver reverse here running out to the right side. That is going to be Chris Anderson. He's going to try to turn it upfield. He's got the first down. He's going to be past midfield.
A little bit of misdirection. You run it inside twice in a row. That big jet sweep coming up the middle, or a touch pass, I should say, coming up the middle right there. Very, very impressive. Chris Anderson, another guy we talked about in the pregame. These two athletes are going to drive this Parkview offense, and they drove him right there to what looks like a first down.
Yeah, but hold on here 1 second. The Parkview offense actually backing it up a bit here. Might they say he stepped out of bounds?
It was definitely close. He reached out with the football at the last second. I'm not sure if the refs are going to give that one to him, though.
Yeah, so they are going to rule that he actually stepped out at the 45-yard line. So actually back it on up here to about, well, they'll say it's going to be, well, they're going to back it all the way up to the 35-yard line, in fact.
Didn't see a flag on that, but appears to be holding on Parkview as well.
And now they're going to say there was also a flag, Parkview holding, and the PA guy even saying there was no flag. I didn't see the flag either, to be honest with you, Garrett. So, interesting situation here, but when it all comes out in the wash, it's going to be third down and a long way to go. Third down at about 16 to be precise. Nundo looking to go to the air. He's going to try to throw it deep. He's got a man open down the sideline. Ball's going to be tipped around, and that's going to be pass interference against Waynesville. The same issue comes back here, just simply not turning around on it. He runs in the receiver. That's going to be a whole lot of yardage.
Nunda underthrew the ball just a little, but it actually worked in Parkview's advantage there. The wide receiver, I should say, trying to get back to the football. Number 17 on the Waynesville defense. It's going to be Chris Scott running into the wide receiver. You can't do that before he makes contact with the ball. That's a pass interference, and that's a first down and a bit of a momentum swing in favor of the Vikings.
Yeah, so you go from third down and 16 to a first down. 15 yards, in fact. And actually, no, excuse me, 15 yards. Well, that'll just mean third down and 1. So, still 15-yard penalty. It's a big one. And we'll see here as the ball is placed right on the 50-yard line. Man set in motion. Going to be a quarterback keeper. Nunda diving forward. He's going to have it. He has himself a couple yards. First down and 10. Now on the Waynesville 48-yard line.
And they are still going to let the great explosive runs set up this kind of short game offense. You never want the defense to know where the next run is going to be. And right there, they're going outside already. They're going inside. They're having passes. Great versatility so far by Parkview.
Yeah, Parkview so far has been getting all of the yardage. Waynesville on their first drive were not able to push the ball much. Most of the yardage came from penalties, in fact. So someone to watch for here is this time it's going to be Anderson moving out towards the left sideline, but somebody's able to rope him down as they move towards the sideline. And that's going to be no gain. It's going to be second down and 10.
Trying to exactly get a view on who that defender was for Waynesville, making a great open field tackle. It looks to be number 25 on the defense. That's going to be Anthony Scott. Great play right there to get out to the edge in a hurry and stuff that outside run as quickly as possible.
So again, second down and 10 after the stop. 4:45 now on the clock. This game going to move a lot quicker than the game last week against Glendale with these two running offenses. Here's a screenplay on second down. Harris going to receive it out in the flat, but of course, breaking through. That'll be the secondary of Waynesville. And yeah, you can't really get through 5 Waynesville defenders. Harris, a very good running back. When you got 5 men breaking through that screen line, there's just not much you can do. That'll set up, again, another third down and long.
Yeah, it was a bubble screen to the right side. Cam Harris, very athletic. You'd love to see him catch those screen passes and get out in the open field and make a play. Unfortunately, Nunda kind of threw the ball a little bit backwards towards the other side of the line of scrimmage. Caused Chris Harris to lose acceleration just a little bit. Cam Harris, I should say. And that led to a big tackle there by the defense of the Waynesville Tigers.
Another third down and 15 here. Nunda takes a snap, rolling out to his left. Looking towards the air once again, trying to find his big tight end out there in the field, but he's going to be taken down way back there. All the way back at the Parkview 35-yard line. That's going to be a loss of 12 yards. I'm adding too much there. A loss of 12 yards, but that's going to be a fourth down. That's where this Parkview drive is going to come to an end.
And that was number 25, and it looked to be number 54 on the sacks. That looks like Josh Bess and number 54, Yidel Santana. A player we haven't called a whole lot, but we did talk about early in the season is that fourth and final addition to the defensive line of the Tigers, making a big play right there.
Yeah, of course, a couple injuries to this defensive lineup here. You're going to need some players to step up, and we saw there Bess and Santana immediately getting into the backfield and causing some problems there for Nunda. Speaking of Nunda, he's going to punt it away. This is a low line drive punt. This one's going to be returnable, though. Fielding it about the 42-yard line. That's going to be Johnny Hedrick, who takes it all the way to about the 47-yard line. And that's where Waynesville's next drive is going to begin. So a couple setbacks there for Waynesville. The pass interference call giving a few yards. But in the end, they're able to hold firm and get a quarterback sack to put this offense back out onto the field. We'll hopefully get some better results this time around. Their first drive, unfortunately, ended in a turnover on downs.
Yeah, we're going to see if the Tigers can keep up. The Tigers had by no means expected to come out and score a touchdown on every single play, on every single drive. But you got to look for that early momentum blow that we talked about earlier in the game. They're definitely hoping to get it on this drive.
Yeah, definitely looking for an explosive gain here. This ball has not really left in between the 40-yard lines. It's going to be a direct snap to the running back here on first down, but again, not a huge hole going to open up here. He's going to be able to get back to the original line of scrimmage, but not more. Still on his feet, but the ref's whistle is going to be called for forward momentum on the carry. That was Michael Kelsey getting his first touch of the game. Second down and 10. But yeah, this football has not really left the 30-yard lines one way or another. This has been a game played entirely, almost kind of like an 8-man game where you have the 80-yard field. Well, the field's only about 40 yards here today, but we'll see. Ball still at midfield here as the clock continues to creep forward. Only 2.5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. Gotta say, that's quite refreshing after last week.
I can second that one.
Shotgun formation, wing back off to the right. Another snap here to Kelsey. He's going to try to go off the edge. He's actually going to try to find the sideline now. Stiff arms one defender, reaches out. It's going to be a solid gain here, about 7 yards. So Kelsey using that speed. Going to set up a third down and short. Third down and maybe about 3 yards to go. Football on the 44-yard line of Parkview.
And Kelsey's not normally a starter, at least whenever this team is completely healthy, but whenever a starting position comes available, you always want to give it your best and try to steal that spot from somebody else. And Kelsey, pretty impressive right there on the first good run of the game we've seen so far.
Yeah, we saw Kelsey really start to make an impact in the later stages of the Glendale game once Aussie came out of the ball game, of course, with Bradford out at the moment. Kelsey's really had himself an opportunity. He gets 7 yards there. Here's a direct snap to Vernon on third down. He's going to have to try to find the push here. The pile's going to form, and it looks like he may just be a yard shy. It's going to be awfully close. Definitely a positive gain here, but it looks like it might be fourth down upcoming. It depends on where we get this ball spotted.
Yeah, it was right up the middle for Vernon. They've done that a lot, and with a pretty decent amount of success. It is, of course, fourth down territory right now, and that's exactly what we'll see. I would be shocked if Barkley doesn't go for it here.
Yeah, we know the punter is Bishop Godwin. He is not in the ball game here at the moment at the quarterback position, so I'm going to assume here we're going to go for it on fourth down and 1. Football on the Parkview 42-yard line. Wing back off to the right, and of course the fullback off to the left. Man sent in motion. It's a handoff to that wing back. He's got some room on the edge. He's going to have the first down and then some. Past the 35-yard line, loses the football. There's going to be a flag on the play. A flag is thrown on the carry. It looked like that was Michael Kelsey. No, excuse me. How about Chase Thomas Plummer on the carry that time round? But we'll see where the flag comes in, and it looks like it's going to be holding against Waynesville. Waynesville cannot seem to get out of its own way here at the moment.
It's something that keeps better teams from taking a lead and stretching it. These penalties are absolutely devastating, especially, again, to a team that runs the ball as much as Waynesville does. Of course, you can pick up a lot of yards on explosive run plays, but you usually want to keep it to around 4 yards, cloud of dust, keep the ball moving. Waynesville going to struggle to do that if they continue to hold here.
Yeah, and that's going to be a drive killer here because here comes Bishop Godwin. They're going to line up in this wingback formation. He's going to back it up, though. They're going to punt the football away. Parkview not going to send a man back here. They're still lined up. And now we're going to have a jump here, and it looks like it might be false start here on Waynesville. We'll have to see who jumped first. It's going to be a neutral zone infraction against Parkview. That's going to move Waynesville up 5 yards, but it's still going to be 4th down about 6.
Yeah, and important to note, Waynesville did pick up far more than 6 yards on their 4th down attempt earlier that got called back. That might give Coach Barkley the confidence he needs to try to pick it up, but I'm still seeing the same punting formation, I should say, out there.
Yeah, Godwin's still going to back it up. Snap is there. Godwin does punt the football away. It's going to be a straight line drive punt that goes straight into the end zone. That'll be a touchback. And so that's a holding penalty that basically kills the drive. And so far, that's been the story of this game. Waynesville, a lot of costly penalties, giving Parkview second chances, ending your chances. They're going to have to clean it up. Last week, they were the beneficiary of some flags. This week, it's all been against them.
Absolutely. The Glendale, what kept Waynesville in the game against Glendale originally was those penalties. Now, kind of working in the opposite fashion for the Tigers.
So we'll see for the first time a drive go past the 30-yard line, and either way, fortunately for Waynesville, it's going to be Parkview at their own 20. First down and 10, one back in the backfield, 4 wide receiver sets, hand off to Harris on first down. Trying to break through the line, but there's nowhere to go. Maybe got a yard, if anything. And that'll set up second down. So far, though, Waynesville, for the most part, has been able to keep Harris kind of contained.
They have, but what worries me and what should worry the Waynesville defense, he's a very physical runner. You want to be able to swap these guys out on the defensive line for the Tigers so they don't get too tired and eventually allow a big run. The depth of the Waynesville Tigers definitely going to be a factor in this one.
A wrecking ball of a running back, if I can be precise here, as the clock going to expire. That'll actually be it for the first quarter. So last week, a 45-minute first quarter. This week takes us just 26 minutes to complete. Two teams that like to run the football. In fact, we've only seen a couple passes either way. But as it stands, after one, still no score here at Parkview. Again, it's Waynesville nothing, Parkview nothing. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, 102.3 KOZQ. Back to action here once again, JFK Stadium in Springfield, the site of Parkview High School. Here's a handoff on second down. No, a quarterback keeper. Even fooled me a bit there on second down. Anthony Nunda going to his left-hand side, breaks through the 35-yard line to about the 37. No, they'll say the 35. Bit of a friendly spot there for Waynesville. Means it's going to be third down at about 5. Still no scores. We put another 12 minutes up on the clock. And again, the story, Waynesville hurting themselves a bit with these penalty flags.
It is definitely one of the biggest stories of the game so far. I'm waiting to see which team takes the first big blow. Might be right here.
Yeah, here we go. Nunda going to tuck it, try to keep it himself here. Jukes out one defender, but there's just too many Tigers coming at him here. That's going to be another quarterback sack. This time taken down at the 18-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 7 here on third down, set up fourth down and 12. And more importantly, this might give the Tigers very good field position as Parkview is going to have to punt it from deep.
That's right, and that might be what Coach Barkley is thinking right now. You don't need to come in and punch these guys in the mouth. eventually, if you can force a mistake from Parkview like they're doing here, get good field position, that can be kept for a long time, especially in a defensive game like we're seeing right now.
Yeah, when Waynesville's been able to keep it clean, they've looked good on the defensive side of things here. So back to receive the punt. That is going to be Chase Thomas Plummer. It's going to be a low line drive punt here. Waynesville's going to need to clear this one out. He's going to roll past the 45 to the 47.5-yard line. So right back to midfield we go. It was a nice little vacation out from between the 30s. But it'll be the Waynesville Tigers opening up this drive on the Parkview 47-yard line. So Garrett, we've seen what this Waynesville Tigers offense has done a little bit in these first couple drives. They've shown flashes of what we saw against the Falcons. What do they need to keep doing here? What do they need to keep doing?
At a risk of sounding too repetitive, it's the penalties. That's really the only sort of analysis you can draw from this so far. They've been explosive. They've been great. You might want to maybe push the ball with a little more physicality, a little more consistently, but the penalties are the main thing killing drives right now of the Tigers.
10:36 to go in the first half. Snap going to go to Vernon. He's going to keep it on first down. Has a bit of a hole. Jumps through, gets to about the 45, maybe a couple yards extra here. Nice second effort, nice second win there for Vernon. Dives forward here, gets to about the 43-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play, second down and 6.
And that's so important. That's that physicality. Whenever we've seen consistently a 3rd and 2, a 3rd and 1, a 4th and 2. Whenever you can inch those yards out every single play like this, spread them out over 3 or 4 plays instead of trying to pick them up all on one.
Second down and 6. Getting past the 10-minute mark here. Vernon, that's going to be Bishop Godwin who takes a snap. He's going to have himself an explosive first step. He'll find himself 5 or 6 yards, and that'll set up 3rd down and short, 3rd down about 1. So we see Godwin take the snap, his first carry of the game, and it goes for a nice little chunk of change.
And that's going to be big. Like we already talked about on the defensive line, you want to rotate a whole bunch of people out, keep those fresh legs. It's the same thing with the ball carriers for the Waynesville Tigers. Got to keep them rolling, keep them fresh, keep them moving, as opposed to the Parkview Vikings, who kind of put it all on that Cam Harris player, who is no doubt very good. Waynesville players, maybe not as athletic, but definitely are going to have fresher legs by the end of this one.
They'll actually say 3rd down and 2 here. Ball on the Parkview 39-yard line. Direct snap. Chase Thomas Plummer moving off to his right. He's going to have the first down. Does juke out one defender. Gets all the way to the 30. Nice big gain there of about 10 yards. Waynesville first down. First down of the day on a non-penalty. Important to note here, comes in the second quarter, maybe a little bit later than we thought, but now it looks like they're starting to move.
And this is where you have to start becoming maybe a little more aggressive than a lot of football teams would like to be. You've seen the momentum sort of shift. Now it's your time to reach out and take it or let it pass you by. We'll see what the Waynesville Tigers do here. Might be looking for an explosive play here at the 30-yard line.
Nice day here at JFK Stadium. The lights are on. 8:53 to go now in the quarter. Another snap to Godwin. Going to hand it off back in the other direction. Nice juke. Past the 30 to the 25 we go. On that carry, again, Chase Thomas Plummer gets another 5 or 6 yards.
And that's exactly what they need to keep doing. That was a gain of just a couple, but if you can keep doing that, you'll eventually find yourself into the end zone for the first score of the game. And usually whenever you have a defensive game like this, the first score of the game doesn't necessarily decide it, but it is huge momentum-wise for whichever team can go out, put those first few points on the board.
Bishop Godwin running in the play from the sideline here again. Once again, Coach Barkley not deciding on a quarterback here. Doesn't really have to, if I'm being precise with you here. Of course, Godwin and Vernon have both shown that they're more than capable of leading the offense as Godwin lines up here. Again, the snap, though, this time going to go to Michael Kelsey Jr. Cuts it upfield. Goes to the 20-yard line. Another 4 yards, and that might be enough for a first down once again.
It looks like it's going to be, and I love the old John Madden quote, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. That might not be true for the Waynesville offense right now. 2 very good, very athletic quarterbacks. And we're seeing a bit of a wave here by the referee. Not sure what's going on down there quite yet, though.
No flags, first down. That's what that means. And, of course, with all due respect to John Madden, I want to know what he's thinking there. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have 2 quarterbacks. And usually you have some trade capital. Of course, you can't trade in high school, but it is what it is. Obviously, Madden not talking about high school. 7:40 to go. Direct snap. David Vernon on the carry this time. He's back in at quarterback as he gets himself another 5 yards. Still pushing forward. Maybe got another yard extra in the pile. Officials coming in here. Looks like that ball is going to be placed at the 14-yard line, so ultimately a gain of 5. Second down and 5.
And to continue referencing the great John Madden, might as well stick with it. That was great offensive line play. He got behind 2 big blockers, and they were just able to force a path through the Viking defense. A great offensive line play right there by the Tigers.
So the Tigers threatening here with 7 to go in the first half. Again, remember, Waynesville with 2 of their timeouts remaining. Not really a factor right now, but something to maybe watch for as we continue to creep through the quarter. Had to burn one in the first quarter. Again, Vernon, the quarterback, sends a man in motion to hand off. Nope, fakes it, keeps it himself. Again, going to get a nice push, and this time he's going to creep to about the 5-yard line. So Vernon, a good pull there on the quarterback read. He's going to be rewarded with 9 yards.
Yeah, and it was a great play by David Vernon there. It's sort of a slow, methodical offense still by the Tigers. Not necessarily the most exciting to watch. We're not jumping up and down, screaming at the top of our lungs, but a touchdown is a touchdown, and they're very close to getting that. In fact, just 6 yards away from the Tigers scoring first here in Parkview.
Yeah, 4 downs to get 6 yards here. Thomas Plummer, the wingback, off to the right. He's set in motion. It's going to be a handoff. Thomas Plummer to the pylon. Does he dive in? Yes, he does. Hear the Tiger roar. Touchdown. Chase Thomas Plummer, 6 yards to find the pylon. And Waynesville will strike first. They lead this one 6-0.
Cut it out to the left side of the field very quickly there. It was a beautiful play design by Coach Barkley. That's going to be, like we said before, a pretty big start for the Tiger offense. We didn't see a lot of offense, period, in the first quarter there, but to come out on the first drive of the second quarter, drive down the field, take up a lot of time, and score, that's great news for the Tiger offense and the team as a whole.
Yeah, only 39 total yards of offense in the first quarter, but if we see that offense for the rest of the game, it's going to be smooth sailing the rest of the way. Going to go for 2 here. Snap comes over to Vernon. Vernon coming through. Trying to follow Kelsey through the gap, but he's not going to find it. And so the 2-point conversion woes will continue here for Waynesville. Remember, did not get a single 2-point conversion last week. And they're not going to get it here, so the lead will remain 6. But, of course, that touchdown by the Waynesville Tigers means another $25 donated to the Waynesville High School Athletic Program by Ed Morse Ford of St. Robert, Waynesville. Ed Morse Ford, always a big supporter of the Waynesville schools. Find out what it means to be backed by Morse. 6-0 our score, 6:25 to go. Here in this first half, we'll come back after 1 minute. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, 102.3 KOZQ. Back to action very quickly here at JFK Stadium in Springfield, but the Waynesville Tigers, they take the first lead of the ball game, a 6-yard touchdown run. Chase Thomas Plummer to the left pylon. And so the Tigers lead here, but a big return for the Parkview Vikings. It was a short kick to about the 20, but a gain of 25 on the return means the drive will start at about the 44-yard line. As the two teams actually huddled up on the sidelines here. Our officials gathered in, but there is 6:18 left to go in the first half. And Waynesville, like I alluded to before we really moved on to the break, if the offense looks like that, if they pick up 5, 6, 7 yards, there's going to be more touchdowns to come.
Absolutely, and a big thing to note about that drive from the Waynesville Tigers, no runs for negative yardage. That is huge. You've got to keep the ball moving. You've got to keep this Parkview defense tired and worn out, and guessing they did that well on that drive.
So back out onto the field, the Parkview Vikings offense, 4 wide receivers set, 2 to each side. And they're going to take the snap, rolling out to his right. Maybe looking to pass, instead going to tuck it and run. He's got a solid change here, but he loses the football. It popped out of bounds. Where are they going to mark it? He lost the football, and he may actually lose 3 or 4 yards on that. It's only going to be a gain of 2.
That's definitely tough. You got to hold on to the football, especially if you're already down in the game and the momentum seemingly shifting towards the other team. It's going to be very important that they play a very clean drive. Even if they don't get points, you've got to move the ball down the field here. You've got to keep your offense energized.
Yeah, a gain of about 2.5 here. 2nd down and 7. Nunda, maybe a bit of a misplay there as he looked the wrong direction on the handoff. Has to try to keep it, but of course he's a very athletic quarterback. He's going to be able to turn it into something here. Actually gets down to around the 1st down pylon. It's going to at least be into Waynesville territory here. But yeah, maybe a busted play there. Turned to one side, saw he didn't have the running back there. Takes it himself. He was an all-conference selection last year for a reason. He can run, and he does so there, and that's actually going to be a Parkview 1st down.
He certainly can, and usually when you have a quarterback at around the 5'7", 5'6" that he is, you don't usually love for him to start, but he's overcame that height disadvantage with great legs, great mobility, and that's what was on display right there.
So 1st down and 10, ball on the Waynesville 45-yard line. Handoff, Cam Harris on 1st down, but again, rope bound behind the line of scrimmage. Again, this Waynesville defensive line and even some of the linebackers sending the blitz there, really forcing some pressure onto Harris. And again, tough runner, hard to still break through 3 Tigers.
Absolutely, and in my research for this game, one of the things I did pick up on Parkview, like we heard in the interview, they like to run out of the shotgun, and the best way to beat that is with disciplined blitzes, not just going after the quarterback without abandon, but going after the ball carrier, filling your gaps well. Waynesville did it on that play.
Empty backfield, but here's a player who may have jumped beforehand. Which side's it going to be? Definitely looked like false start, and that it is. And that's going to set the Vikings back 5 yards. It's going to take them back in their own territory. It'll be 2nd down and about 15 and a half. Loss of a half of a yard on the first play. 2nd down, 15 is what we'll call it to be not more precise, but more delectable for on-air purposes. How about that? Those are some weird words. But 2nd down and 15.
I'm not sure what delectable means, but I'm going to let you roll with it there.
I'm not quite sure, but it's going to be a timeout here taken by Parkview. I say some weird things sometimes. Well. Yeah, I might need a timeout here. We'll go ahead and take ourselves a 60-second timeout. 4:58 left to go in the first half. Waynesville, they lead Parkview 6-0. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, 102.3 KOZQ. As we come back from a timeout, another huge loss is Waynesville able to again sack Anthony Nunda behind the line for a big loss. And so we'll have 3rd down and about, 3rd down and about 19 to go. Ball on the Parkview 46-yard line. 4:31 to go in this first half. Waynesville leading 6-0. Again, Connor Harvey here on the play-by-play, joined by my partner, Garrett Bowles. Waynesville starting to look a lot cleaner on both sides of the ball. Able to get that 6-yard touchdown run, Chase Thomas Plummer. And now facing another 3rd and long. Here's a quarterback keeper, Nunda, going to get to about the 49-yard line. It's going to be well short of the 1st down. It'll be 4th down and 16. And we'll see these Vikings most likely punt the football away once again. Another good drive, another good possession. Or, well, maybe not possession, but another good stand here for the Tigers of Waynesville.
Good stand is definitely the most delectable word you could have used there. I think it was very impressive by the Waynesville defense here. It's holding strong. They've been a little more disciplined in their tackling as well on that sack a few moments ago. Holding up Nunda and then holding him up so other Tigers, I should say, can come in and make the tackle.
One man back to receive here for the Tigers. Punt can be fielded about the 25-yard line. No fair catch. Chase Thomas Plummer on the return, but he's able to keep it going. Had to run about 20 yards to maybe gain 5 there. but he does take it to about the Waynesville 31-yard line, and so that's where the drive will start. Again, 3:26, Waynesville 2 timeouts remaining. They lead this one 6-0.
Yeah, Plummer always looking for the big play in his running game, whether he's a slot wide receiver, whether he's taking the jet sweep or the touch pass, or whether he's just running up the middle or to the side. He's going to take that aggression into the punt and kicking returns here, and although he didn't really get a whole lot of yardage there, it shows his running style very well.
Yeah, very shifty runner, likes to juke left, likes to juke right. He doesn't like to make a whole lot of contact, but he likes to try to make people miss, and he really did there. Made a couple of Vikings miss to get that 5 or 6 yards on the punt return. First down and 10. Again, ball on the 31-yard line. Snap, handoff. Thomas Plummer coming back the other way. Going to make a couple defenders miss once again, but it's all going to be for just about 1 or 2 yards. Again, much like Harris can only truck 1 or 2 defenders before going down, you can only juke out so many defenders before going down, but it's going to be about 2nd down and 8. Still gets 2 yards on the play.
The Vikings here in Parkview known for swarming the ball carrier very quickly. They did that very well there. It's going to be interesting to see when the Tigers decide to bounce it outside, look for a more explosive play.
Under 3 minutes to go now, 2:50 on the clock. Man set in motion, that's Thomas Plummer, but Fernan going to keep it himself. He's going to look to go to the air. He's going to try to truck this one down. Paul might be overthrown. That ball's almost picked off. Intended receiver on the play. He was trying to find Josh Best, the tight end, out near the right sideline. But the solid coverage there, Ethan Brantley had a chance to pick that one off, and in fact, almost looked like that ball was to Brantley, as he was the only man there, maybe available to catch that football.
Was Brantley seemingly overran the tight end there for the Tigers, but he was overthrown as well, so that's exactly what you're going to get. A very, very stressful, to say the least, pass for the Tiger faithful here. Definitely a couple goosebumps right there.
Yeah, definitely stopped my heart a bit here as Waynesville goes to the air for the first time for no effect. 3rd down and 8. Direct snap here, Michael Kelsey Jr. trying to follow his big lineman through the hole, and he's actually going to cut it back the other way. He's got nobody in front of him. He's going to take this one to the house, to the 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Hear the Tiger roar. Touchdown, Waynesville.
What a cutback it was right there. Great field vision by Kelsey. My goodness, switching motion, switching momentum, a fantastic run for big yardage, and I don't see a flag on the field.
67 yards to score. Michael Kelsey Jr. coming through with the big play, and of course that touchdown by the Waynesville Tigers means another $25 donated to the Waynesville High School Athletic Program by Ed Morse Ford of St. Robert, Waynesville. Ed Morse Ford, always a big supporter of the Waynesville schools. Find out what it means to be backed by Morse. 12-0 now, 2:24. Pending the 2-point conversion. Again, Waynesville, this has been a bit of a kryptonite for them, but we'll see if they can't put the 2 points on the board here. 67-yard touchdown run for Kelsey Jr., the sophomore, breaking one free. Quarterback keeper moving forward. It's going to be close, and he's in. 2-point conversion. 14-point lead as David Vernon takes it in to score. So make that 14-0 here with 2:24 to go in the half. We'll come right back after a 1-minute timeout. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, 102.3 KOZQ. Back here once again, another short kick going to be fielded here. Chris Anderson on the return, trying to find the left sideline. Past the 30, he goes to the 35, pushed out of bounds eventually as he crosses the 37-yard line.
And the happy feet there by Anderson, definitely gaining about 5 or 6 yards. And while that's not going to add a whole lot to the drive, it is going to just continue to energize this kicking team and energize the offense. Right now down 14 points. That's 2 touchdowns, of course. That's going to be very important to bounce back from quickly if the Parkview Vikings can do that. And that run by Anderson definitely not hurting the momentum.
Yeah, 67 yards the previous touchdown. Michael Kelsey Jr. giving the Tigers a 2-score lead. Here's a quarterback draw on first down. Nunda going to try to slide. Actually, maybe a bit of a hybrid dive slide there. But it is going to be good for about 5 yards, 6 yards maybe, 2nd down and 4.
And that looked to be a bit of an option play. He wanted number 17 coming right off of the snap. Wasn't able to get him. Tigers holding that big wide receiver to no gain so far. And so Nundo ran it up the middle and got great yardage for a first play of the drive.
Yeah, one of the tallest wide receivers we'll see all season long. 6'7", but here's a flag. We might have a neutral zone infraction coming up here against Waynesville. One of the D linemen up there. Looks like that may have been Hidel Santana. He jumped just a little bit early, and so that means it's going to be 1st down and 10 here for Parkview.
Udell had a big sack earlier in the game, and once you get 1 sack, you want more. I'm sure he was trying to cheat the line maybe just a little bit, get an advantage over the Parkview offensive line there.
Yeah, with Nunda carrying the ball as much as he has tonight, you can start to key in just a little bit. But again, a little bit over-aggressive. Anderson sent in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Anderson. Going to try to cut it upfield here. Spins around. Past the 45 he goes. Into Waynesville territory we go. Eventually taken down, 44-yard line on another gain of 6. Again, 2nd down and 4. Watch the clock, 1:24 to go here in this first half. Parkview still in possession of 2 timeouts.
Parkview starting to move the ball. They are not done yet, especially with Anderson maybe putting the team on his back here. Great runs.
No huddle offense. Waynesville trying to get that personnel off the field. Here's a pass to the flat on 2nd down. Caught. That's the big tight end out there. Kind of a tight end wide receiver hybrid. Jameel Johnson with the catch and stretch. Again, 6'7" out there, so when I say stretch, I mean stretch. And that's actually going to lead to a, well, what they're going to say is a 3rd down and 1. Maybe all just a little bit fooled here. Even the Parkview PA man starting to swing into that 1st down call before
the
having to walk it back.
Stretch looked very good there and looked like he might have just stepped out of bounds just before that stretch took place there, and then the ball's dead. Got to keep the ball where it was spotted originally.
Yeah, perhaps fortunately, though, for Parkview, that does still stop the clock, and it is still a 3rd down and short. 3rd down and 1. Nunda, design quarterback keeper, able to juke out one Waynesville defender. He's got the 1st down to the 35 before being taken down. Taken down in bounds. 57.5 on the clock. But it is 1st down and 10, 35-yard line.
And that now brings up another Parkview Vikings.
And the Tigers maybe getting a little bit too aggressive. Looked like one of the D linemen overran him. And we may be at a little bit of a clock stoppage here. Did he go out of bounds?
Nah, they're going to stop it as the whistle happens, but Parkview already up to the football here. Again, 52 seconds on the clock. Here's a reverse. Harris now cutting up the field here, has a big hole, and he's going to break free to the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown Parkview.
One ball carrier makes a great play on one offense. Cam Harris comes back with another fantastic run right there. It was physical. He was quick on his feet. The Waynesville Tigers almost brought him down, couldn't quite do it. That was a great play, and the fans are going to let the team hear about it. That might be one of the loudest screams I have heard in my football season so far.
Yeah, that's going to be the first score for Parkview this season. Remember, we're shut out against Lebanon last week, but Cam Harris, 35 yards to score. That's going to make it a 1-score ball game. Here's a 2-point conversion. Nunda going to throw it out to the left-hand side. Ball's going to be caught, diving forward, stretching forward. He's going to be in. Make it a 6-point ball game. So Waynesville defensively kind of loses the plot there a bit. Maybe a little bit rushed on the no-huddle offense, and they're punished for it. A 35-yard touchdown run for the star running back, Cam Harris. 14-6 our score, 42.4 on the clock. Come back in 1 minute. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, KOZQ 102.3. Another line drive kick as we get back to action here. Going to be fielded in stride, juking back to the right, stopped at about the 32-yard line. Waynesville for 37 seconds to do something with the football here as we approach the end of the first half, giving up the touchdown run, 35 yards for Cam Harris. It's made it a one-score ball game once again, 14-8. After the successful two-point conversion, a simple screen pass to the left-hand side, Tyler Cater with the catch and carry. But we'll see if Waynesville wants to take a shot at it here. Again, still in possession of 2 of their timeouts. 37.2 seconds on the clock. Coming up to the line, 4 wide receiver set. We've seen Waynesville basically exclusively throw from this formation. And that's what they're going to do here. Vernon looking to throw. Going to try to pass it up the left-hand sideline. He's got a man deep. That ball is going to be dropped. Had a chance, but it just didn't hang on.
A beautiful, beautiful throw by Vernon. But whenever you're a team that runs a whole bunch, you're not going to practice those passes a whole lot. Even though the Parkview Vikings were not necessarily very, very close to that wide receiver, he heard him coming and might not be all that used to that living in this Waynesville offense.
Intended receiver on the play. That was Chase Thomas Plummer running down the left sideline. So 2nd down and 10. That would have been a huge chunk of yards there. Try about 40, 50 yards on first down. That'll get you a first down for sure. And maybe get you thinking about the score. Still 31.3 seconds. Incomplete pass does stop the clock. And again, it's going to be 4 wide receivers, but this time trips to the right. Vernon in some trouble. He's going to be sacked. They sent the blitz. Vernon not aware of what's going on behind him. The offensive line not able to pick up said blitz, and that'll lose them a few yards and set up 3rd down and long. And at this point, I think you just got to worry about running out the clock and making sure that the Parkview Vikings don't get the football.
You definitely do. You got to take your medicine with this one. The Parkview Vikings rolled the dice a little bit. You don't see a blitz that often on a play like that where they're usually going deep. You like to see a prevent defense. Not there. Parkview, again, rolling the dice, and they pay it off big there with a huge sack on Vernon.
Yeah, so they're going to go ahead and just let the clock expire here. A couple shots didn't pay off, but they will still take an 8-point lead into the locker rooms. The Waynesville Tigers do, but it is going to be a close ball game, and the Parkview crowd seems awfully happy here about this score. So we'll see how things go out of the locker rooms, but for now, the Waynesville Tigers lead this one. Again, your score 14-6. We'll take ourselves a 4-minute timeout. Go ahead and take a 4-minute timeout. Come back in just a moment. We'll have some numbers for you from the first half. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, 102.3 KOZQ. And once again back here to JFK Stadium in Springfield, Missouri. We are at halftime of this Week 2 high school football contest. A close game on hand. The Waynesville Tigers, they do lead this one, but a late touchdown to end the second quarter means this is just a 6-point ball game here at 14-6. Connor Harbin here with you, and of course joined by Garrett Bowles. Garrett currently working on adding up some of the stat totals for you from that first half. Spoiler alert, a lot of Waynesville's yardage coming from a singular play there in that one. But we'll get to it here in just a moment as we kind of go over what we saw from that first half, a scoring summary, if you will. It was actually Waynesville getting things going in the second quarter. All of our points scored in the second quarter here today. It was Chase Thomas Plummer taking it over to the left pylon, dives in for a 6-yard score. The failed 2-point conversion left it at 6-0. After Waynesville, the defense came out strong and were able to get the ball back, actually pinning Parkview deep into their own territory. They would find themselves with the football on the 33-yard line, and from there, Michael Kelsey Jr., a beautiful cutback, was able to take it all the way down the right sideline for a 67-yard score, and at the time gave the Tigers a 14-0 lead after their first converted 2-point conversion of the season. But of course, just a couple minutes on the clock is all Parkview needed, as they were able to find 35 yards to pay dirt. Cam Harris, the junior running back, the senior running back, apologies, he was able to find himself a nice little gap and a cutback of his own to take it to the end zone. A 2-point conversion for Parkview on a screenplay means it is just 6 points here at the half. So obviously some positives and some negatives here for the Waynesville Tigers. We'll talk about it here in just a little bit, and of course we'll go over some scores. We'll see what we can't update for you from around the Ozark Conference, and of course we'll get you some stat lines as well, as Garrett, he's working ever so hard off to my left. We're going to go ahead and send it on over to another break. Let's make this one another 4 minutes. We'll have those numbers for you when we come back. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football right here on KOZQ 102.3. And back once again here, JFK Stadium in Springfield, Missouri. The marching band currently out on the field, playing a couple of very recognizable hits for the Parkview faithful here today. But we are still about 13 minutes or so from getting back to action in this one. The Waynesville Tigers lead, but just a one-score lead here at 14-8. Connor Harbin here with you. Garrett Bowles as well. Going to send it on over to Garrett now. He has finished crunching those numbers. He'll have some first-half stats for you. Garrett?
Absolutely. It was a game of momentum shifting back and forth. No team really able to grab that momentum and run with it. We have a very close one-possession game right now, and that shows pretty closely in the stats so far for each team. Waynesville, 169 rushing yards so far in this game. They're up a touchdown, or I should say just 6 points over the Parkview Vikings right now. The Parkview Vikings, speaking of, no passing yards quite yet. They do have 71 yards on the ground through the first half. A lot of that coming off their big back, Cam Harris, who's been fantastic so far. He ripped off that 35-yard touchdown to pretty much put an end to the half a few moments ago. This is going to be a very, very close game moving forward if the first half tells us anything about half number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, it's important to note as well, of the 169 yards for Waynesville, 67 of those yards came from one play. Michael Kelsey Jr., of course, Waynesville's second touchdown of the day at the time, putting them up 14-0 here. So a couple of big plays have been the turning points for these two sides. Important to note, however, Parkview's going to get the ball to start out this ball game, to start this second half. Remember, they deferred to the second half. Waynesville received, and so it will be up to the Waynesville defense to come out and really come out hungry. It cannot feel good, Garrett, to give up a touchdown just before the half after looking so good for the majority of the ball game. Only 36 yards total for Parkview up until that final play.
Absolutely. It's going to be maybe a little bit of stress coming off the Waynesville Tigers sideline right now. And let's be honest, they saw the score last week. Parkview fell to Lebanon, got shut out, in fact, by Lebanon, 56-0. Waynesville, maybe a slight bit of doubt entering their minds right now that they're not up a little bit more in this ball game. However, what Coach Barkley is no doubt reminding them right now, hey, guys, we're still up by a touchdown, and we still have the lead. The momentum has completely shifted to the Parkview sideline right now, but Waynesville looking to maybe make an explosive play early, get some of that back, or do what they've been doing all season, get 4 yards, 5 yards at a time, and kind of work this game back into their favor through time of possession and through controlling the football.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, like you said, Waynesville still very much in the lead. This is not a game you really look at and you get defeatist about. You still come out here, you really do more of what you did leading up to that 35-yard touchdown run, and you're going to be in a great place. You find more sacks. They have 3 total sacks on Anthony Nunda so far tonight. When he tries to run the football, they've been able to shut him down for the most part. Even Cam Harris, who did have the 35-yard touchdown run, he's found it difficult to find large chunks of yardage at a time. So you've been able to do great things. You just got to forget about what the bad, and you got to bring in the good. And, of course, it's all going to start very quickly for the Waynesville defense, as, again, you're going to start out with the football there. So about 7 minutes still left to go here as these two teams come back out onto the field. Remember, we'll throw up another 3 minutes after that here as well. We'll go ahead and keep it locked in here just for a little while longer, as again we take a look at some scores from around the rest of the Ozark Conference, maybe even the area a little bit. We'll maybe kind of go beyond the Ozark Conference and the district as well. As you know, you've got some of the scores, you might as well read them, Garrett, as we'll go ahead and throw those up for you right now. Remember, a couple big games being played right here in Springfield. A district opponent, we talked about Branson. They were playing a number 1 team in Carthage this week. They are down at the half, 42-0. A number 1 in Lamar, off towards the western side of the state. Directions were not my strong suit. Number 1 Lamar taking on Rogersville. That is a 14-0 score here at the half. Webb City, they played yesterday. In fact, a little bit of Thursday night high school football action. They took on Carl Junction. They win that ball game 47-7. A nice rebound from their week 1 loss to Class 6 Nixa. At the half, my hometown, Nevada, number 3 in Class 4 at the moment. They are leading number 7 Reed Spring 20-7. So always pretty hype for me. I'm going to try to keep my emotions in check, but it's always a great time to see those Tigers, those Nevada Tigers, kind of pop off a little bit there. Nixa, coming off of their big win against Webb City, they're leading 38-7. A score from Hillcrest, Lebanon, in the second quarter, they are leading Hillcrest 42-0. So another big win coming here for Lebanon if that score holds. Seneca defeating Catholic at the moment 51-0. We'll go ahead and skip on down here to Glendale and West Plains. Remember, West Plains number 9 at the moment in Class 4. West Plains, unlike Waynesville and a lot of the Ozark Conference, they play in Class 4. They are trailing Glendale in the second quarter 14-12. So a close game over there in West Plains. Other Ozark Conference action, Kickapoo leading Camdenton at the end of the first quarter 14-3. Remember, Camdenton, we will see them next week back in Waynesville. Republic leading Ozark 14-7. Rolla leading Bolivar in the second quarter 7-0. And then you have one more score here, as I think we have one more score in the area. Maybe I lied to you there, but we'll go ahead and say Cassville. How about Cassville? They're close enough, right? They lead the Hound Dogs of Aurora 14-7. I'm kind of just picking schools that I remember from my high school playing days back, again, on the western border of the state. But anyway, that's kind of your look at some local area scores as we go ahead and send it on over to another timeout here. We've got about 5 minutes left to go here in this initial halftime period. We'll kind of see where things go once again, but it is a one-score game. The Waynesville Tigers leading the Parkview Vikings 14-8. We'll make another 4-minute timeout. Come back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, 102.3 KOZQ. And back here once again to JFK Stadium here in Springfield, Missouri. About to get started with the second half of action here, coming in right before the kick. You love to see it here, as once again, it will be Waynesville kicking off to Parkview to go ahead and begin the half. Actually, nope, excuse me. We're back on the field, but they faked us out. We still have 3 minutes. So again, we're actually going with the original plan. As both teams are ready to go, we're actually both huddling up here on the sideline with 3 minutes to go. You can tell both teams eager to get back to action here. But Garrett, some final thoughts leading us into this second half. Obviously, maybe not quite the lead that Waynesville wanted to build here against a team that most believe is a little bit inferior to Waynesville, at least coming in through the week. But what do you got to do here to come out on top in this ballgame? What do you got to do to win here?
I think if you're Waynesville, you have to do, like you said right before the break, a lot of the same things that you were doing. I mean, if you take away just one singular play from the Parkview offense so far, you're up by 2 touchdowns. It's a 14-0 game. Unfortunately, Cam Harris sneaking in there for one of the last-minute touchdowns on a great play. I said sneak as if it was not one of the best plays I've seen all season. It certainly was. But you just got to keep doing what you're doing. Your offense scored 2 touchdowns. Their offense scored 1. If you can just keep up that pace, it's going to be good. I think the Waynesville Tiger whole team was very excited to go to half there at the last minute. The momentum kind of shifting. The Parkview faithful here very excited, as loud as we've heard a crowd almost all season. You'd love to get to the sideline, get out into the locker room for a few moments, breathe, and remind your players, if you're Coach Barkley, this is still a winnable game. This is still, in fact, a game that you are winning. You just got to clean up a few of the mistakes, a few of the penalties, and they'll be well on their way to a 500 season. Yeah,
you say Cam Harris snuck into the end zone. Nah, he really ran with authority. A huge cut to find pay dirt for the final touchdown of the half. But fortunately, Waynesville, they've been able to find a couple of authoritative runs of their own. One from Chase Thomas Plummer for the first touchdown today, and then the big longest play of the game, 67 yards for Michael Kelsey Jr. That has really given Waynesville this 1-score lead here at 14-8. So just about a minute left to go here in this one. Another thing to note here, Garrett, remember last week against Glendale, several turnovers the Waynesville Tigers forced against the Falcons. So far tonight, not a single turnover. You forced a few punts, but you are yet to cause a turnover. You've caused a couple fumbles, but you have not taken the ball back just yet. So someone to pay attention to, because remember, Coach Barkley, entering the season, he wanted to be a turnover-heavy team. That hasn't happened tonight in the slightest. So it's going to be Parkview kicking away here. Garrett, you got to keep me in check there for a moment. I get topsy-turvy sometime here. But it was actually Parkview deferring. Goodness gracious me. But what was it?
Beginning of the game feels like 4 hours ago at this point. I'm telling you, this has been great football. I feel like I've been watching all night, and I feel like I could continue to watch all night. These are two teams battling for their spot right now. Both teams not winning a game last week, loving the opportunity to get on the board here with the first win of the season.
Kick is away to begin the second half. Again, Waynesville back to receive. Apologies on that one here. It's going to be a return. It's going to be taken to about the 29-yard line. Not a whole lot of room to run there for Chase Thomas Plummer as he's tackled at the 29, and so that's where we'll see the Tigers take over for their first drive of the half. So again, first down and 10. We'll get to see what this Waynesville offense is capable of. The second quarter, very positive when it's all said and done. Yes, you were sacked to end the half, but still 2 touchdown runs. All of your points tonight came in that second quarter. We'll see if they can kind of keep up that momentum and see if they can keep up the ground game. Remember, had to go to the air to end the first half. David Vernon, the quarterback. Thomas Plummer in the backfield. One wing back off to the right-hand side. It's going to be a quarterback keeper here for Vernon on first down. Going to be stood up at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go. Caden Warner sneaking through and just stands up Vernon. And ultimately, it's going to be a loss here. Maybe a yard. Second down and 11.
And that's obviously, speaking from my deep football knowledge, not what you want. A negative gain to start the second half here in a one-possession game.
Yeah,
Parkview feeding off momentum right now, and if they continue, the Tigers continue to let this happen, could get out of hand rather quickly.
Yeah, this clock moving quickly here. Again, two teams that like to run the football. Already a minute gone by after just one play. Second down and 11. Here's a reverse. Thomas Plummer into the second line. He's actually going to break a few tackles. He's got some room to the 50. He's going to break free. He's going all the way. The 30, the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Hear the Tiger roar. Touchdown, Waynesville.
Plummer is so explosive out of the backfield just then. My goodness, the burst of speed, seeing that nobody was around him, he just books it towards the end zone. It was a fantastic run. Seemed to be Vernon, the quarterback there, disguising the run just a little bit, and that split second of hesitation is all it took for the Parkview defense to get a little bit discombobulated there and allow a huge touchdown for the Tigers.
72 yards. Your drive starts with a loss of 1, but 72 yards takes you to the end zone. That touchdown by the Waynesville Tigers means another $25 donated to the Waynesville High School Athletic Program by Ed Morse Ford of St. Robert, Waynesville. Ed Morse Ford, always a big supporter of the Waynesville schools. Find out what it means to be backed by Morse. Lining up for the 2-point conversion now, trying to make it a 14-point ball game. Direct snap, Michael Kelsey Jr. moving off to his right. He's in the end zone, make it a 14-point ball game. 22-8. Your score, a drive that takes just 2 plays and takes just 59 seconds to take your 2-score lead back. It's 22-8 in favor of Waynesville. We'll come back in 1 minute. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, 102.3 KOZQ. Back here once again, JFK Stadium, a 72-yard touchdown run for Chase Thomas Plummer, his second time finding pay dirt tonight, has given the Waynesville Tigers a 14-point lead once again, 22-8. Kickoff away, a good kick for Castro, fielded about the 16-yard line. Waynesville rushing to the ball here, may have lost it, but able to recover it on the ground. Bit of a basketball dribble there. Falls on the ground, falls right back into his hands, but he's able to take it to about the 34-yard line on the return. That was C.J. Jackson, the senior wide receiver. And so again, the Vikings will start with relatively decent field position. That is the one thing Parkview's had. They've returned the ball very well tonight, usually starting their drives between the 35 and 40-yard line.
Absolutely, which usually sets your offense up in fantastic field position, and it has throughout the game, as we might be getting a bit of a flag here, perhaps. Nope, ref just checking on something right there. Yeah,
some late substitutions here. David Vernon coming in, running from the sideline. Here's a snap. Anthony Noonda on first down. Hit at the line of scrimmage, but able to carry his momentum forward for a couple yards. And we were talking during the break here, Garrett. This is another important possession. Great job scoring on offense, but now you're on defense. A stop here, I think, does a lot for the momentum. This offense, this Parkview offense, may still be hungry. You got to shut it down.
Absolutely, and quickly comparing it to last week's game, Waynesville kind of on the opposite end. It seemed like every time Glendale started to pull away, Waynesville got a touchdown to get back in it. Waynesville now on the other side of that with the lead. Can't let that happen against them.
Pistol formation, Noonda takes a snap, throwing away, going to be caught. Cater with it. Takes it to just shy of the 45-yard line to the 44. It looks like he's going to have enough for the first down. That'll move the chains.
It was a great screen pass right there, and that was number 4. Still looking for that on the roster here.
Tyler Cater with the catch.
Cater, a fantastic change of positioning. As soon as he caught that football, there was a Waynesville tackler there waiting for him. Shifted position, shifted his feet immediately after getting the catch, and gained a great set of yardage.
Going to the air once again here. Noonda trying to find his target once again. Trying to find. That was Chris Anderson. Drum major in the marching band, by the way. That was fun. Kind of sent me back to my own high school days for a second there, but he's unable to hang on. Pass just a little bit too high for him to handle. Incomplete. Second down and 10.
Tigers had a slight chance to intercept that one. If you heard a big thump, that was me jumping up in my seat and then falling back down immediately. Very close to getting the first turnover of this ballgame, something that we talked about as well coming out of the half.
Yeah, actually, I think there was a bit of a route miscommunication there on that play. Cater and Anderson standing in just about the same spot, creating a lot of traffic. Man sent in motion here, but a flag thrown. Play is going to be whistled dead. Looks like this might go against the Vikings here. False start. Back them up 5 yards. 2nd down and 15 upcoming. Always got to appreciate, going back to Anderson, you always got to appreciate those multi-talented student athletes. You don't see usually a player all conference honorable mention last year staying out during the halftime period, at least for a little bit, to direct an entire marching band. You don't see that every day, Garrett.
And it's something you love as a coach, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Always love diversifying. Get you the scholarship money. Schools take notice of that. Man set in motion here. It's going to be a touch pass once again, cutting it upfield now. Gets to the original line of scrimmage. Still on his feet as he crosses the 50. Actually going to get around the 1st down marker. A great effort there, Kyman James. Kyman James. His first touch of the day.
I haven't heard his number called quite a whole bunch today. Again, like you said, the first carry of the ball game for him. It's a very impressive first run of the game. You know he's been itching to get out on the field, hold that ball, and bring it upfield.
And James listed on the roster as a quarterback, very similar to the number 1 we saw last week, Rex Dieters. But he'll line up more often than not in that wide receiver position. And again, that touch pass working out for him on 2nd down. Here's a handoff, Cam Harris, very simple play, pushing it right up the middle, but it's going to be enough for a 1st down. Gain of 3, 1st down and 10. So again, we're in Waynesville territory here. 1st down and 10. Ball's going to be placed on the Tiger 44-yard line. Here's something to note, though. Harris a little bit slow off the field. He's actually coming over to the sideline. Looks like he might be favoring that left leg, Garrett. That would be a huge loss for the Vikings if he's going to be hurt for any longer than just a couple plays.
Yeah, we said at the very start of this game, he is going to live and die with this Viking offense. Scary to see him banged up there.
Nunda again going to the air, but again a bit of a miscommunication, throwing to nobody in particular. Receivers over there, Tyler Cater and also Kyman James. But it harmlessly falls out of bounds, incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, that looked like a bit of a miscommunication there. Likely was hoping to cut it back to number 1 there, but not able to do that right there. Or should I say number 4? Looking probably get the ball to him, hoping to read the zone coverage there and cut back. Again, a bit of a miscommunication. Something fairly common at the high school level, so not anything you can really be too upset about.
Empty backfield here. 5 wide receiver set. James sent in motion, but it's going to be a quarterback keeper for Nunda. Off to the left, tackled at about the 42. Short gain here on 2nd down. 3rd down, about 8 upcoming. 3rd down and maybe 7, actually.
Yeah, you saw him go with that jet pass a few moments ago. It worked very well. This time, fake it, get Nunda to the left side, and see if you can break for another big one. Wasn't able to do it right there, but it's going to get these Waynesville defenders a little bit off guard, get them out of their comfort zone at least a little bit, and anytime you have a defense that isn't sure of itself, might be a little bit of a problem.
Some new personnel in the backfield here for the Vikings. This is going to be moving over to the right-hand side. That's going to be Chris Anderson on the direct snap, but he's got nowhere to go. Trying to follow his fellow backs in the backfield, but it's going to be a loss of about 6 or 7 on the play. Long 4th down upcoming, and it looks like Parkview is going to have to punt this football away. You had several new players in there. You had Anderson lining up at quarterback. Important to note there. Again, that's something that they mentioned he can, in fact, do. You also had Rodney Casper in once again, as again, you've got Nunda on the sideline, and Harris slow to come off the field a few plays ago. Obviously, some personnel that you really would like to have out there on the football field. So, Parkview set to punt it away once again. Nunda, again, usually the starting punter. They're going to have to put somebody new out there. Nope, excuse me, he's actually back out there now. As Nunda takes the snap, going to punt it away. Another short punt, bounces around the 21, takes a lovely Vikings bounce. And this is going to be the deepest we've seen Waynesville start tonight, all the way back to the 9-yard line. It's Thomas Plummer back there to receive. Couldn't do much there with that punt. It was a short one, but unfortunately Parkview able to get their way to the football and keep Thomas Plummer from trying to do what he does best.
Yeah, you always got to keep the ball away from an explosive punt returner like Chase Thomas Plummer. He's already beat you for 2 great touchdowns on the game so far. The last thing you want to do is put the ball in his hands. If you don't have to, you're going to avoid him at all costs. They did a very good job of it there and pinned the ball very deep, especially for an offense so built on running the football.
So again, 22-8 our score, 7:19 left to go in this 3rd quarter. Waynesville, 1st down and 10, placed on their own 9-yard line. Farthest back we've seen him today is David Vernon takes the ball, left side, first down, gets himself a couple of yards here. Looks to maybe be about 2 or 3. Looks like it'll be the 12-yard line, second down and 7.
Made by number 8, Ben Rice. Assisted by number 20, Jalen Elmore.
Ben Rice on the tackle again, one of the guys we were talking about at the pre-game. Very, very impressive last week against Lebanon in the shutout. Obviously, that team didn't look fantastic against Lebanon, losing 0-56, but a bright spot, and a bright spot again here tonight.
Direct snap, Michael Kelsey Jr. He has one touchdown run here tonight. He's running hard. He's going to get to about the 17, maybe 18-yard line here. Another solid chunk of yards. Third down and short. It's going to be third down and 2. So how about a gain of 5 on second down?
Very impressive the way they're moving this football right now. It's going to be a real challenge to get the ball all the way down the field and score. I think if you're the Tigers right now, what you want to do is eat up as much of this clock as physically possible, wear out this Vikings defense, and just keep moving it slow and steady. Could win you the race and win you the game here tonight. Yeah,
running the clock comes naturally to this Waynesville offense, who puts the ball on the ground a lot. Again, a snap going over, I believe that might be Godwin on the carry. It's going to be close to the first down marker. I think he got past the 20. That would certainly be enough. And it looks like that is going to move the chains. First down and 10. Bishop Godwin again on the carry as he swaps in. He's handling the quarterback duties for the moment.
Haven't seen him a whole lot tonight so far. I was happy to see him on the field. He's a very explosive inside runner, short yardage situations. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the game a little bit more often as they look to chew some more clock down here.
Yeah, but for now, Vernon back in the ballgame for Godwin. They're going to swap it back out once again. Wing back off to the right. That is at the moment Thomas Plummer. Kelsey Jr. in the backfield alongside Vernon. Thomas Plummer set in motion. It's going to be a handoff. A lot of room here. He's already got the first down. He's going to break through into the secondary. One man to beat. Dukes back to his right. To the 45, the 40. One man to beat. He gets through to the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Here the Tiger roar. Touchdown, Waynesville.
And pretty much 3 of their 4 touchdowns tonight have gone on these big, explosive runs where they have 1 or 2 open field tacklers to beat. 78 yards, I believe, is what I saw right there. A fantastic run for the Waynesville Tigers. And now we talked about them maybe being a little bit down in the half. That is not the case anymore on the Tiger sideline. Like you said, the Tiger offense right now roaring through this game.
Every touchdown has been just a little bit longer than the last one. This time, 78 yards. Second rushing touchdown of the day. No, excuse me. Third rushing touchdown of the day for Chase Thomas Plummer. His last one, 72 yards.
And we didn't see him in the game a whole lot last week till the end.
Here's a handoff, juking to the left, and that's going to be Tyreek Brooks who finds the end zone. Another 2 points, 30-8. A 22-point lead here for the Waynesville Tigers. Before we send it on to the break, that touchdown by the Waynesville Tigers means another $25. Donated to the Waynesville High School Athletic Program by Ed Morse Ford of St. Robert, Waynesville. Ed Morse Ford, always a big supporter of the Waynesville schools. Find out what it means to be backed by Morse. 5 minutes, 20 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. 32-8. Our score back in 60 seconds. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, 102.3 KOZQ. Back here at JFK Stadium here in Springfield, the Waynesville Tigers have come out in force. A couple of touchdowns, 30-8 your score. I need to go back to school a little bit here. 22-point lead here with 5 minutes, 20 seconds left to go here in this third quarter. Connor Harbin here with you alongside Garrett Bowles. Brian Castro set to kick it away. And a couple returners back here for the Parkview Vikings. That's going to include Dante Hall. Wait a second. That's what it is, Dante Hall. And you also have back there C.J. Jackson as well. Here's the ball going to be fielded by Jackson. Going to get stood up here about the 33-yard line. You know, with a name like Dante Hall, you've got to be a return man. And that's what the Parkview Vikings have back there in Hall. Haven't gotten to see him return one so far tonight, but just a little small note here as Parkview takes back over once again on the 32-yard line. How about that Waynesville running game, though?
Oh,
3 touchdowns now of 65-plus yards.
It's been absolutely incredible, and other than that, I love the way they're running the football outside of those explosive runs. They haven't had a lot since the first quarter, at least, of negative runs. They're going to slowly inch up the field, and eventually, Parkview is going to make a mistake in their blocking. It'll be a big play.
Nunda going to hand it off here. It's going to be Chris Anderson first down, but he stood up behind the line. That'll move him backwards here on first down. 67, 72, and 78 yards. But that one was a little bit different than the 72-yarder. That time you got a few chunks. 4 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards. You kind of wear him down a little bit, and then you hit him with the boom. Chase Thomas Plummer on that jet sweep that we were so high off coming off that jamboree. And again, when you get Thomas Plummer into open space, he is very hard to bring down, juking and jiving his way all the way into the end zone. So a loss of 1 here on first down, second down and 11. Man sent in motion, a touch pass, but the ball's going to end up loose on the ground. It's going to be fumbled, and it looks like Waynesville may have it. They might also say it was an incomplete pass. It was that touch pass once again, and that is going to potentially be ruled an incomplete pass, and it will. The touch pass. It doesn't look like a pass, but it's going to go down as incomplete.
It certainly is. That's an incomplete pass there. The Tigers getting a little too excited, a little too quick there. I think they were ready to switch off the field, put their offense back on. But again, when you're moving the football forward intentionally, that's a pass regardless of where it's going. Incomplete pass there, not a fumble.
Yeah, when you're the quarterback, you toss it up instead of handing it off. That is the lone difference between a reverse and a touch pass. It looks very similar, but a wildly different result there. It's third down and about 10.5 or 11. 3 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. Pistol formation here, quarterback in about 4-yard shotgun. It's going to be Nunda rolling out to his right, throws it towards the sideline. It's going to be caught. That's Jameel Johnson, but he's only going to get himself a couple yards. It'll be 4th down and 9. Deep in Parkview territory. No choice but to punt it away once again.
No choice, and no doubt Nunda looking for a big pass there, not quite able to find it. Still a good pass, number 17, keep the chain rolling. The last thing you want to do is let this game start to snowball out of control. You want to stay in it as much as possible, keep yourself disciplined, fundamentally sound. They did that there.
Nunda on to punt it away once again. Thomas Plummer back to receive. Another small line drive punt, but this one's fieldable. Thomas Plummer has it to midfield. He's going to be swarmed by a few Vikings. Push back, but forward momentum should give him about the 50-yard line. And so it'll be about half the field here for Waynesville. But a flag is going to be thrown, and it's going to be near the punter. Hold on. We may see our second running into the kicker penalty today. First one benefited Waynesville. This one might go against him.
Looks like it might. I think we were both watching Chase Thomas Plummer there. Wasn't exactly able to see what sort of contact was made as the Waynesville and the Parkview Vikings look to substitute, it looks like here.
Yeah, it is going to be a personal foul here on Waynesville, so that is going to be 15 yards, and so the drive will continue. So, after another good stop, the Vikings are going to get themselves another lease on life here. We'll see if that might be a drive changer here, as the Waynesville defense, again, has to stay out onto the field. 30-8 our score for just now joining us. Waynesville leading this one. Led at the half, 14-8, but 2 touchdown runs in this third quarter. 2 long touchdown runs, 72 yards, 78 yards. Has blown this one open a bit. Obviously still a lot of football left to be played. You have to continue until that final whistle, but it's been a good quarter for the Tigers up until this point. Pistol formation, 3 wide receivers right. Nunda throwing it out to the screen. Johnson has it, moves forward for about 3 or 4. Second down upcoming.
And look for the Vikings to pass a little bit more frequently right now than they have been. We are past the point of slowly and calmly moving the ball upfield, whether you're getting them through runs, outside runs, inside runs, screen passes, or deep passes, or anywhere in between. You're looking for bigger yardage here to try to put yourself back in this one.
Pitch out to the left-hand side. Ball going to be bounced a bit here as Anderson has a little bit of trouble coming up with it. Swept at the legs. A nice open field tackle, but a flag comes in. As Anderson still down on the ground a bit there. Tackled at the knees. Definitely didn't feel good to watch up here in the booth. As Anderson's still sitting down there.
And a big hit there going right for the knees, it looked like, of the Vikings ball carrier.
Now, so both teams going to move off here real quick because it looks like Anderson is okay. Always love to see it. Again, Anderson, such a big part of this Parkview offense, has now started to take some snaps at running back as well. Again, listed as a wide receiver, but can pretty much play every skill position. As it looks like the flag, well, going to call him back over to the sideline here. They've placed the ball at the 40-yard line of Parkview. That would set up second down and a long, long way to go. Could it potentially have been holding?
Could have been holding. I'm not really seeing what else it could have been. Holding, maybe some sort of illegal block there. Obviously, the story of that play, number 11 going out of the game for now, that's going to be a big, big impact for the rest of this game. Chris Anderson, the kick returner as well, he has been electric throughout most of this game. Even if it hasn't generated points or yards, you can just see by the way he moves, whether it's running the football or catching the football, he's been quite good tonight, and he looks to be moving around without too much struggle. Probably going to keep him on the sideline for just a little bit longer, though.
Yeah, he is going to come over here. Once you're injured, you do have to come off the field for a play if they have to bring the trainer out to check on you. Remember, Cam Harris is also out of the ball game here at the moment for the Vikings, so that's another running back taken out of the ball game. Anderson and Harris. So second down and a long way to go. Second down and 18. We're going to assume that was holding on the previous play. Not many ways to repeat the down. Here's a handoff up the middle. Still on his feet. That's a new running back in the ball game here, but he gets about 2. Gets to about the 43-yard line. Looks like that may have been. That was Rodney Casper once again. We've seen him a couple times, but that's his first official carry logged for tonight.
That is 3 men down now on the depth chart. He's obviously not the feature back or the star wide receiver, but that next man up mentality we were talking about at the beginning of the game for Waynesville, looking like it might need to be a focal point now for the Parkview offense.
Yeah, 5 wide receivers with 4 of them lined out right. Nunda takes a snap. Going to tuck it and run. Trying to get through the line. He's going to break through into the secondary. Still on his feet as he gets just shy of the original line of scrimmage. Again, that's going to set up 4th down, though. 4th down at about 12.
These Waynesville Tiger hits are looking more and more physical throughout the point of this game. I think what we originally said was you don't want to give the Vikings any hope. You can do that 2 ways. You do that through the scoreboard, and you do that on defense with big, physical, clean, disciplined hits, and that's what the Tigers are doing right now, trying to put a close on this game before the 4th quarter is even seen.
Yeah, they're going low and hitting them in the legs, which is exactly what you want to do there. First on Anderson and there against Casper as the punt is going to be a little bit higher than the last one. This is trouble. That's actually going to bounce off the head of Tyreek Brooks. That's a fair ball. That's a ball available as it goes out of bounds. And Brooks now going to shove a player out of bounds. A flag's going to come out, and now our 2 teams going to get together here for some pushing and shoving. I'm going to say not a smart call there by Brooks to shove that Viking out of bounds, as that ball was headed out of bounds already. You could just let it go and then take over with the ball in your possession instead. That might be a personal foul, and you're really not helping out the squad. We'll wait and see what the official call is, though. But yeah, that ball bouncing off the helmet of Brooks became a live ball. When that live ball comes around, everybody's going to be gunning for it.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the referee, the sideline judge's decision right there on whether that ball was obviously out of bounds or not. And that is going to be very, very close. I could see that one going either way. I believe I do see a flag on the field over there by the sideline. There is indeed a flag on the field. That's likely going to be unnecessary roughness. It's going to be trouble for the Waynesville Tigers there.
Yeah, the flag came in as the ball went out of bounds. And, of course, on a punt, the ball can go out of bounds. It's not like a kickoff, as the flag is going to go against Waynesville. It's a personal foul. The flag will go against Tyreek Brooks.
Not, I doubt that was a malicious push. That looked like maybe quickly trying to recover from a mistake of letting the ball bounce across your helmet there. The last thing you want to do is let that turn into an even worse decision, an even worse outcome where the other team gets the ball. I think that was just Brooks being maybe a little too over-aggressive, still a penalty.
It is a penalty, and unfortunately the pushing and shoving after the play not really going to help your cause. So it's another lesson that you have to learn, but Waynesville does keep control of the football. It'll be 1st down and 10, half the distance to the goal on the flag. Means instead of about the 22, it'll be about the 11-yard line for him here. 2:15 to go in the third quarter. 30-8 our score. Waynesville still leading by 22. Here's a handoff on 1st down and up the sideline. To about the 19 we go.
Tackle on the play made by number 8, Ben Rice.
Ben Rice in on that tackle again.
Looks like that was Thomas Plummer again on the carry. 2nd down, and well, looks like they'll give him the 19. So that's going to be about 2nd down and 3 to go. Again, Waynesville has thrived in about this area. Their last 3 drives all ended with long touchdown runs from right about this spot, the 20-yard line. 90 seconds left to go now in the quarter. It's a direct snap to the running back here on 2nd down. Following those big offensive linemen through the hole. Going to have the 1st down, a couple extra yards to about the 25. 1st down and 10 upcoming.
Yeah, and I think the Parkview defense right now has been so concerned with stuffing that run at the line, not allowing the 1st down. They've been kind of losing their blocking lanes, losing their rush lanes, I should say, at the very beginning of the play, and that has led to some big runs by the Waynesville offense right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it again, as the defense of the Vikings, I should say, haven't had a whole lot of time to correct that mistake right now.
1st down now. Vernon with the snap, moving off to his right. Going to keep it himself. Going to get a solid chunk here, maybe 2 or 3. And now a late flag coming out here. And it looks like that's going to be against the lineman blocking downfield. That's Jacob Forche, who's now going to have a flag tossed. You got to keep it under control here. Parkview not necessarily leading on the scoreboard, but maybe starting to get in the heads a bit of the Tigers. That's now 2 unsportsmanlikes against the Tigers.
Yeah, 2 unsportsmanlikes in a game so far is not great to see. 2 on a drive, that's devastating.
Yeah, exactly here, especially on 1st down, as now you've backed yourself up to about the start here. As you really can't get into this. You really can't. As you know, you've got yourself a 22-point lead, but you're still in the 3rd quarter. You're not out of the woods just yet. These penalties still hurt. As it's going to be 1st down and 25, especially when you're winning the way you have with big, long runs. You're winning physically. You don't need to win after the whistle. Just win in between the whistles. It's like the old coach's saying goes. Win between the whistles or something like that. I may be paraphrasing a bit, Garrett.
If you are, that's a Connor original then.
It's a Connor original, and it's a lovely one. So we're going to hear it about 4 more times this season probably. 1st down and 25. Nope, 1st down and 20. Still bad at math. 48 seconds left to go in the quarter. Here's a handoff. Thomas Plummer up to the sideline. He's going to break through into the secondary. He's got 1 man to beat. Going to trip and fall just a little bit, and that's going to allow him to catch him from behind, but not before he gets past midfield. Taken down all the way at the Parkview 44-yard line. Almost had another one, Garrett.
Almost, but whenever you're trying to move into the open field like that, every once in a while you look to juke a little harder than your body can physically juke. That's what Plummer did right there, and now we do have a Parkview Viking down. Looks to be number 10.
Yep, that's going to be Caden Warner, who is down on the field, so another injury timeout upcoming. It's a gain of 34 for Thomas Plummer up the left sideline, and so we're going to go ahead and take an injury timeout, as it looks like this one may be just a bit longer. So, with 37.6 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter, Waynesville holding on to that 22-point lead. 16 points so far in the quarter. We'll go ahead and make it a 1-minute timeout for now. We'll just go ahead and make it 1 minute. Back in 60 seconds. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, 102.3 KOZQ. And back here once again at JFK Stadium in Springfield. Warner being helped off the field. The injured Parkview Viking on the play. Looks to be favoring that right leg a little bit. And again, like we said last week, when Waynesville had a couple players go down, you just hate to see it early on in the season. Warner, he is a sophomore, a linebacker, a wide receiver. But no matter the year, you just hate to see players injured. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we all love to do this on Friday nights. You don't want to not be out there. I'm sure Waynesville, of course, you have a couple players out there not dressed out, injured. They want to be playing. You have a few Vikings not dressed out. They want to play. Just hurts. Hurts to watch up here in the booth, but he is going to be helped off the field as we get back to action. After the 34-yard run, Chase Thomas Plummer, 37.6 seconds left to go in the third quarter. 30-8 our score. Waynesville leading by 22. First down and 10. Here's the snap. Kelsey Jr. on the carry. Gets a couple yards past the 45 to the 44.
It's a big hit that he just took. Trying to run up the middle. That's going to happen, and I'm really surprised and very glad that the coach of the Waynesville Tigers, Kyle Barkley, is switching out these inside runners often. You don't want them to get too many hits, too many plays in a row. And when you're going up the middle against the big boys on the defensive line, that can happen from time to time.
Yeah, so we're going to take another timeout here as we both head off to the sideline. Actually, that's just going to go ahead and do it for the third quarter. Both teams just going to go ahead and give it up. So we've got 12 more minutes left to go here in this one. And again, 16 points, a couple long touchdown runs for the Waynesville Tigers, making the difference here. 30-8 our score. We'll see if Waynesville can't close this one out. Back in 1 minute. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, KOZQ 102.3. Back once again as it's going to be a run off to the left-hand side. Kelsey Jr. on the carry. As we start the fourth quarter of play, Waynesville leading this one by 22 over the Parkview Vikings, 30-8. Trying to pick up that first win of the season. It'll be third down and 4.
Go ahead and call and make sure your ride.
Yeah, and a good play to just kind of keep the ball moving. You're in the fourth quarter now. You're up by quite a bit, 22. Waynesville looking to just chew this clock and get out of here with their first win of the season.
To the ball once again. Again, third down and 4. Play clock to 3. Not a lot of time to snap this one to 1 now. And I don't think they're going to get this off. They're going to let the play go. I think nobody paid attention to the play clock there. As moving off to the left-hand sideline, that's going to be Bishop Godwin on the carry. That play clock hit 0. I feel like I'm now part of a massive conspiracy, Garrett, as that ball was definitely about a second too slow.
Your eyes have been opened here.
The third eye has been opened. Wake up, sheeple.
No, but it was a good run, gotten out of bounds there. I think the refs obviously don't want to let the delay of game penalties into the ball game as much as possible. Even in the NFL, every once in a while, clock hits 0. You just like to keep the ball moving. If it's not egregious, let them play.
Fourth down and 5. That was third down. Again, no gain. And now we're going to have a timeout taken here by Waynesville. So Waynesville going to call their first timeout of the second half. As we start this fourth quarter, we'll take a timeout too. We'll come back here in 60 seconds. 11:07 left to go in this one. Waynesville leading Parkview 30-8. You're listening to Tiger Football right here on KOZQ 102.3. Back here once again, JFK Stadium, 4th down and 4. Again, Waynesville lining up here on the football. Looks like they are going to go for it here. Trying to get him the jump, and they are going to get it. Did he jump? Did he? Or did Waynesville jump first? We'll see what the call is going to be. Neutral zone infraction here on Parkview. It was 4th down and 4. The 5-yard penalty means 1st down here for Waynesville. Great discipline to force them to jump off sides.
Absolutely. You want to keep the ball moving. You do that on 4th down. It keeps the ball moving, keeps the play clock not moving, unfortunately, but it does give you possession of the ball for at least another 4 downs, pending a potential turnover.
Yeah, exactly. You're up 3 scores, but you don't want to let off the gas just yet. There's still 11 minutes on the clock. Here's a quarterback keeper, David Vernon. He's got some room up the sideline here. He's going to get to around the 1st down marker, a gain of 10. To about the 25-yard line he goes. We'll see if they give him the 1st down or not. Otherwise, it'll just be 2nd down in inches. But a big gain here for Vernon. Those have been a little bit tough for him here today. This time he's able to follow Thomas Plummer through the gap.
Haven't seen him really break through a whole lot in this game. Fortunately, he's had his slack picked up by a lot of great explosive touchdowns. But right now, continuing to move the football, great play.
So it is going to be 2nd down and very, very short. 2nd down in inches. 10:30 left to go now in this contest. Again, Vernon the quarterback. Couple backs in the backfield. It's going to be that direct snap once again. Kelsey Jr. on the carry. Comes across. Flag is going to be thrown. Would have been a gain of 2, but we'll see where this flag goes.
Tackle led by number 8, Ben Rice. However,
Waynesville has had quite a few flags thrown against them here tonight. Have definitely struggled, but we'll see where this one goes. It's going to be a face mask. This one's not going to be against the Tigers. It'll be face mask called against Parkview. Pile forming in there. The hands are flying around. Easy to grab a face mask.
It is, especially with an explosive direct snap like that one was, busting straight up the middle. Sometimes you just got to let your hands fly out there, hoping you make contact with the ball carrier. That time, contact was made. Unfortunately, hand caught the face mask. That's a tough penalty right there.
Accidental contact means just a 5-yard penalty on that face mask. It'll be 1st down and 10. Now in the red zone. Ball on the 19-yard line. Tell you what, it's been a long time since we've seen Waynesville in the red zone. Haven't really needed it here tonight. Their first touchdown came from 6 yards. This is their 2nd trip. Another quarterback keeper here. And excuse me, how about a running back keeper? Flag is thrown. Going to go to the end zone. It's going to be scored, but I think that one's coming back. I'll give you the excitement we need if it's on Parkview, but it looks like that one's going to be holding on Waynesville.
Result of the play is a touchdown. However, there is a flag down on the field.
Thomas Plummer on the carry, but again, this one is going to be coming back. Holding against Waynesville.
And even though it wasn't an official play, even though it's going to end up going back, that was a really good run by Chase Thomas Plummer. He has really taken that role of the explosive main ball carrier throughout the course of this game and throughout really the second half of last game for at least the most part of it. It's been very impressive to watch him carry the football.
The thing you unfortunately hate the most about that penalty, it came well off the ball, 6 yards from the original line of scrimmage. How about 1st down and 10 now from the 35? No, excuse me, not 1st down and 10. 1st down and 30. Well, let me try this. Let me think. 1st down and 27 from the 35-yard line. There you go. I had to think through some numbers there for a second. It's going to be an option here as Vernon looks to go to the air. He's going to throw it deep. He's got a man down there. And that ball's going to be dropped. Again, had a man. Just shy of the end zone. Intended receiver on the play. That was DJ Horry. He had a touchdown catch last week. Was wide open in the backfield. And the secondary, once again, just could not hang on to the pass.
It was a beautiful pass indeed right there. He seemed to, Horry, I should say, just seemed to kind of get his hips twisted the wrong way at first. Tried to make an overcorrection there. And when you're running full speed, trying to adjust your hips, adjust your eyes to the football, sometimes the hands don't quite coordinate. He falls over there. The ball seemed to be almost in his possession for just a minute. The body ended up making contact with the ground there, and it's going to knock it out. No good.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns through the air for Waynesville last week. Horry, a 35-yard touchdown catch that actually opened up the scoring against Glendale last week. So the incomplete pass, 2nd down and 27. Again, the holding penalty sending Waynesville way back. Here's a wide receiver reverse. Running into quite a bit of Vikings, though. Had it played well. We're able to get around the edge. But a late flag here. This might be a late hit called against Parkview now.
Parkview makes a stop on the play. However, there is another penalty flag.
I believe that was Johnny Hedrick on the carry. He was taken down well after the whistle, and they might go ahead and say that that was a late hit. going to be a personal foul against Parkview. So, going to get those yards back after the holding call. And we'll go ahead and repeat second down.
And sometimes when you get later into the ball game like this, teams try to get a little too physical, a little too aggressive, lose the discipline. That's why sometimes you'll see an excess of flags in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and repeat second down once again, 15 yards. That's going to move Waynesville back near the red zone. They're going to be placed just outside, about the 20.5-yard line here. And once that whistle blows, it doesn't matter if you're standing them up. It doesn't matter if you're pushing them back. You got to slow down. You can't afford a penalty like that. Unfortunately, the momentum just carrying the Vikings a bit too much there on the reverse to Hedrick. Second down and 12. Quarterback option. It's going to stay with the quarterback, Vernon. Goes through the middle. Gets about 3 or 4 yards past the original line of scrimmage now. Third down and about 8 to go. They'll give him 2. We've seen quite a bit on this drive. We've seen a false touchdown. We've seen a second 27. We've seen a late hit. We're getting our money's worth here on this drive. We're kind of just moving all over the Parkview side of the field here.
We certainly are. It's a big drive indeed for Waynesville. If they can punch this in, it could be disaster for the Vikings. Vikings definitely not making it easy, and the Tigers not making it that easy on themselves either.
Yeah, with all the flags and the setbacks, only 3 minutes of runoff, and now here's a fumble. Let's add that to the list. Bishop Godwin trying to make something out of nothing here. To the original line of scrimmage he goes, but he is going to only get about 2. A good effort after mishandling the snap there, but ultimately it is going to lead down to 4th down and 6. This is pretty much territory where you have to go for it. Ball is going to be at about the 16-yard line. Need to get to about the 9. So 4th down and 7. They're just going to go for it. What's the worst that can happen? Turnover on downs? Parkview still pinned back pretty deep. Easy call here for Coach Barkley.
It certainly is. I would like to see if their starting kicker, Mason Wright, was here, what they would do. You add an extra 3 points there. It's 33-8 instead of 30-8 right now. That could be an option, especially when you're up this much, haven't kicked a field goal all season. Mason Wright sitting right there. I would have loved to see him kick it.
Yeah, outside of kickoffs have not tried to kick so far this season. 4th down, handoff, trying to cut it up here. Actually going to find some room and actually going to find the end zone. Wow. Chase Thomas Plummer, hear the Tiger roar, touchdown.
He ran a lot of yards to just get a couple there for the score. My goodness, I believe that was about 15 total yards around, 15 total yards, but he ran out, ran back in sort of in a backwards S formation all the way across as soon as he got around the defensive line, cut it across the face of the linebackers, and then shot into the end zone there. It's a fantastic touchdown for a fantastic player tonight in Chase Thomas Plummer.
Yeah, he has had himself a night. 16 yards this one. Not quite the 70-plus yard runs we've become accustomed to, but this one will go down as a 16-yarder, his 4th touchdown run of the night. Check that for me, Garrett. He's definitely had some huge runs here today. 2-point conversion, handoff. Kelsey Jr. finds some room. Into the end zone he goes. Add another 2 points here to the total. And with 7:31 left to go here in the ballgame, Waynesville leads by 30, 38-8. And just a reminder, that touchdown by the Waynesville Tigers means another $25 donated to the Waynesville High School Athletic Program by Ed Morse Ford of St. Robert, Waynesville. Ed Morse Ford, always a big supporter of the Waynesville schools. Find out what it means to be backed by Morse. Again, 38-8 our score. We'll take a 60-second timeout. Come back in just a moment. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, KOZQ 102.3. Back to action here, 38-8. our score. We have seen now 24 points scored in the second half, and all of which have been the mark of the Waynesville Tigers. Connor Harbit, Garrett Bowles back with you once again. Brian Castro kicks it away. Another short kick. This one's going to bounce at the 26, eventually rolls out of bounds. And so Parkview, a bit of a hallmark for him tonight, has been the excellent starting field position. And they'll get it this time via the penalty. They'll go ahead and start things out at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, and penalties have been obviously a big storyline in the game so far tonight, but Waynesville, with their explosive runs, have been able to sort of overcome the problems that a penalty has had, and now we'll get to see if Parkview answers back or continues kind of their slow pace right now.
Yeah, this is the mark. This is the drive where Parkview, if they even want to have a prayer, they need to do something here. Nunda going to go to the air, has Johnson, but a bit underthrown. Does he make the catch? I do believe he was able to haul that one in. It's going to be a short gain of about 3, second down and 7 here upcoming. But this half, we were a little worried, Garrett. Credit where credit is due. We were a little bit worried about how Waynesville would come out in the second half with the score being so close. This has been a very, very good-looking team on both sides of the ball. They definitely made the adjustments they needed to tonight.
It certainly has, and some of those adjustments were just mental errors that got fixed.
Here's a handoff. Cam Harris, he's back in the ball game now, and he's really going to try to make up for lost time. He's just going to carry a couple Tigers all the way across midfield to the 47-yard line he goes. It's going to be first down and 10.
Man, and I love seeing Cam Harris run the football. This guy can pretty much do it all. He's going to carry some tacklers seemingly on his back there for a moment, getting him up to the 49-yard line.
Going back to pistol formation, Waynesville sending the blitz. Nuna going to be a bit under pressure, but he's going to be able to roll out of it to the left. Has a man open, past the first down marker. That ball's going to be caught. That's going to be Cater on the catch. And that's going to be another huge chunk of yardage here for the Vikings. The blitz seemed to work, but Nuna, staying calm under pressure, rolls out to his left and chucks it down to about the 28-yard line. Found his man Cater in stride.
And he is just so athletic that he can do that. Waynesville Tiger was in his face almost as soon as the ball was snapped, but he gave a little shimmy shake to the right, busted to the left side, and was able to complete a good pass.
Harris again coming off the field as we have a whistle. Ball blown dead. No flags, just the ball whistled dead here. Again, Harris maybe re-aggravated that injury. Was able to come off the field under his own power, so important to note there. But Harris out of the ball game once again. Halfway through this final quarter of action here. Again, the touch pass. It's going to be Anderson on the carry. He's going to have the right sideline this time to the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. He's going to find his way in. Touchdown. Hold the phone just yet. We still have some time on the clock as Parkview strikes pay dirt once again.
And at the beginning of this game, we said we need to, that the Waynesville Tigers, I should say, need to punch Parkville in the mouth early and hope that they start to kind of lose hope, lose that competitive edge. To Parkview's credit, they have not had a lead this entire game. They're down several touchdowns. Throughout all of that, they have not lost a single bit of their fight tonight.
That'll actually go now as a 29-yard touchdown pass. For Anthony Nunda, going to throw the jump pass this time, but lobs it a bit too far out of bounds. So the 2-point conversion will fail, and that'll make it a 24-point ball game, 38-14. Tigers find themselves giving up points for the first time here in this second half. 5:59 left here on the clock. We'll come back in 60 seconds. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, 102.3 KOZQ. Back here at JFK Stadium, a touchdown for the Parkview Vikings, a 29-yard touchdown pass. Anthony Nunda to his receiver, Chris Anderson, on the touch pass. As I told you, Garrett, one of the easiest touchdown passes you'll ever throw, that touch pass. You don't have to do a whole lot to get it counted, but it was a great play call at a great time, as we might see an onside kick here. Got to get out in front of the football, and that's going to be well fielded at about the 49-yard line. Ball kicked right to, get a number on that. Looks like that was,
it looks like.
That looks like that was Michael Baker doing a great job, the hands team, to bring that one in and give the Tigers the football back, first down and 10 on their own 49-yard line. 38
Absolutely.
to
Sorry, he looked like Nolan Arenado catching a ground ball down the third base line right there, just laying out for it, catching it, securing it, and giving Parkview another chance on defense right now as the Tigers grab possession.
Make sure to grab Cardinals Baseball, 97.9 KFBD or 103.7 KGL. Support both. Quarterback keeper here on first down, able to shake off one would-be tackler, gets past the original line of scrimmage, gets a couple of yards more. Well fought there. That was Bishop Godwin on the carry, second down and 8. Most important to keep that clock moving. Leading here by 24, still a 3-score ball game at this point. We're already halfway through the fourth quarter. Just got to keep the chains moving and eventually, hopefully, force a couple of these Parkview timeouts as they try to get that ball back here, trying to finish out what would be the first win of the season here for Waynesville. Second down and 8. Again, going to come back. Chase Thomas Plummer, the wingback, off to the left-hand side. Going to send him in motion. Option play, going to keep it himself. That's going to be Godwin on the carry. He's in the secondary. He's all the way to the Parkview 36-yard line. Good carry there for the quarterback, Godwin. Pulls it away from Thomas Plummer, keeps it himself, gets the first down. And again, those first downs at this point are the most important thing for Waynesville. Touchdown would be nice. A touchdown probably ices the game, but you want to move as much clock as possible here in these later stages.
You certainly do. The last thing you want to do is risk a turnover, whether that's a fumble, whether that is a interception. You want to keep possession of the football. You would much rather get to fourth down right now and have possession than risk a turnover.
Yes, keep possession of the football and hopefully end your drive with some points. Michael Kelsey Jr., direct snap here on first down. He's into the secondary. He's only got one man to beat. Duke's back to his right, and he is all the way to score from deep. Hear the Tiger roar. Touchdown, Waynesville.
Guess a touchdown does work pretty well. Right?
It does. It really does. 36 yards for Michael Kelsey Jr. 44-14, a 30-point lead once again. Could make it 32 here with the 2-point conversion. Well, get into the secondary and then do what some of these Waynesville running backs do best. Hit that juke button to the left, to the right, make a miss, and hit that end zone.
One of the most elusive running back cores that I think I've almost ever seen right now. It's been really impressive to watch.
Absolutely, and of course that touchdown by the Waynesville Tigers means another $25 donated to the Waynesville High School Athletic Program by Ed Morse Ford and St. Robert. Bishop Godwin with the football. He'll take it in to score. Ed Morse Ford, always a big supporter of the Waynesville schools. Find out what it means to be backed by Morse. So put another 2 points up on the board. Bishop Godwin on the quarterback keeper. 32-point lead, 46-14. Here with 4:37 left to go here in this one. We'll take a minute break. We'll come right back. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football right here on KOZQ 102.3.
And number 9.
Kickoff already underway here at JFK Stadium in Springfield. Ball's going to be placed 24-yard line. Waynesville doing a very good job that time round of hawking to the football. Bit of indecisiveness on the part of Parkview, though. Had those two return men back, Chris Anderson, C.J. Jackson. Kind of bounced in between them for a little bit. Eventually, it was Jackson who tried to return it. But by then, Waynesville had gotten down their lanes and were able to converse on the football. First down and 10. Handoff, first down. Cam Harris on the carry. Has some room. Into the secondary he goes. Jukes back to his left. Now Jukes back to his right. He's across midfield. Still on his feet as he goes back to his left once again. He's still on his feet to the 20, the 15, the 10. He's pushed out of bounds all the way at the 10-yard line. Tell you what, we look down the field, we start to see some new names there. But there's one constant, and that's Cam Harris. He makes a miss out there.
And the size of the hole created by the offensive line there, you could have driven a truck through that hole. And then some great elusiveness also for Cam Harris right there to continue running. That was definitely one of the best runs we've seen all night long.
Yeah, first down and 10 here, 5 wide receivers set. Nunda all alone in the backfield, takes a snap, looks to his right, throws it off. Catch made by Jameel Johnson, stretches out to the 4-yard line he goes. Again, some new names out there for the defense. You look out there, you see some players who come in off the sidelines, getting their first taste of action tonight. Again, this ball game a 32-point lead. But Parkview continue to play on. They want to put some more points on the board. Handoff, Cam Harris. He's in to score. Touchdown for the Vikings. 4 yards, Cam Harris.
He has been so good when he has been able to be in the game. If he plays 100% of this game, not saying the score would be completely flipped, but it definitely would look a little bit different in favor of Parkview.
So the touchdown means it's a 26-point ball game once again. 2-point conversion on the way. Nunda, low snap, handles it nicely, keeps it himself. Stretching out for the end zone, he's going to find his way in. We're back to 24 here once again. 4-yard touchdown run for Cam Harris, pretty much going the length of the field. A couple different runs for Harris on the drive. But again, Waynesville still out in front. 3:45 on the clock, 46-22. Back in 60 seconds, you're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, 102.3 KOZQ. A squib kick on the kickoff. Fielded cleanly by Waynesville. On the return, it looks like that would be Rashad Joshua in the second line, able to pick it up and take it back to the 36-yard line where Waynesville will start their drive. A 4-yard touchdown run for Cam Harris has cut the Waynesville lead back down to 24, 46-22. 3:38 left to go here on the clock.
Now, we haven't called Joshua's name a whole lot throughout the season. He seemed very athletic, a good runner right there on the return.
Tiger offense back out onto the field. Brian Castro in at quarterback here. Again, going into that second line as he's going to be taken well behind the line. Clock will continue to tick, but it's going to be a big loss here. Again, starting to go down the depth chart a little bit here. As Parkview continues to keep their starters in. They still believe they have a chance at this one. And Waynesville's got to kind of pick it up a little bit.
You're absolutely right. I'm surprised to see a couple of non-starters, we can call them, into the game right now for the Waynesville Tigers. This seems a little too early with 3 minutes left.
Yeah, we'll see if Parkview uses the timeouts. Obviously have not done so yet. We're past 3 minutes here. Very different if they do not use those timeouts. So 3 minutes can go by in a hurry. So again, Castro still in here at quarterback, takes the snap. No, excuse me. Actually, nope, that is going to be Castro. Apologies. My eyes do not deceive me. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage, gets a yard extra. And that'll set up 3rd down and 9 here as Castro bursts through the gaps.
Got to just keep rolling, moving the football here.
And so Parkview going to take that timeout. Again, 2:44 here on the clock. We'll have 3rd down and 8, actually. They're going to give him ahead and give him an extra yard there. 3rd down and 8 when we come back. Parkview takes the first of their timeouts. Back in 60 seconds, you're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, KOZQ 102.3. Back here at JFK Stadium, Brian Castro again on the carry, nowhere to go. As he gets back to the 40-yard line and no more, is Parkview going to go ahead and take another timeout. We'll go ahead and keep it right here, though, through the timeout. Again, as Parkview taking their timeouts here with the clock, Waynesville going a little bit deeper into the depth charts here. Parkview trying to maybe carry some momentum into next week. They want to score some touchdowns here. We're not out of the woods, 2:34. Parkview only has 1 timeout left, but you still... Games aren't decided before the clock hits 0.
You're absolutely correct. And if anything, as we've talked to coaches throughout the year, and as any football fan knows, you can never simulate game speed activities. Parkview right now just looking to get as many game time reps as possible with several different players, it appears, and just see what they can bring out of their different players. Huge confidence boost for next week if something gets done correctly right here.
And so we'll see Waynesville come out onto the field here on 4th down and 6. I believe that's Godwin down there. Of course, Godwin, also the team's punter. We'll see if they just punt it away here. 2:34 on the clock. Again, Waynesville leading by 24, 46-22. Godwin going to back it up to about the 30-yard line. Going to go ahead and punt it away. Parkview sending nobody back there. Just going to go ahead and let this one roll.
Great punt.
Bounces the 25. Great hop for the Bishop Godwin punt all the way down to the 7-yard line. Big punt there for Bishop Godwin. And so Parkview going to have to go most of the length of the field here if they want to add another touchdown. But the starters come back out on the field for the Vikings. Get a look here at the personnel that Waynesville will personally send out there.
And at this point in the game, it might seem
It is going to be the starters.
It might seem over to several people in the crowd, a couple of you guys watching at homes or wherever you may be, but this is where teams really start to build confidence for next week.
Nunda going to go ahead and go to the air here on 1st down. Jump ball and a flag for defensive pass interference. This time going to be called on David Vernon. This continues to be a thorn in the side here. Again, the starters back in the ballgame here for the Tigers. But Vernon just simply not turning around once again. Runs into the receiver, the intended receiver, Chris Anderson. And that'll give him some yards.
Anderson, who almost made a very impressive play on that ball. If he would have pulled that in, I would have called it a one-handed side, like horizontal to the ground catch almost, if he would have caught that. Unfortunately, bounced off the hands just a little bit. Still going to get positive yardage if you're a Vikings fan right there.
So the penalty means another 1st down and 10. Ball now on the Parkview 22-yard line. 2:14 left to go in this one. 4 wide receivers. 1 back in the backfield. New quarterback in the ball game here for the Vikings. That's going to be a man we've seen mostly at wide receiver in Cayman James. going to keep it himself. Gets to about the 21-yard line. Actually going to be a loss of 1.
By number 1, Keenan James.
So none down of the ball game.
Like a couple of yards
James
off
handling
of
the quarterback duties here at the moment as the clock continues on here. Again, under 2 minutes now, 1:50 away from what would be Waynesville's first victory of the 2022 campaign. 3 wide receivers left. James having trouble with the snap. It's on the ground. Who's going to fall on it? And it looks like Waynesville's going to recover. So Waynesville falls on the football, and they'll get that first turnover of the game.
The fumble on the play.
Late here in this one. And so I think that'll pretty much do it. Parkview still 1 timeout remaining, but only 96 seconds on the clock here. And with Waynesville only 17 yards away from the end zone, we'll see what Waynesville does here. We'll see if they just opt to take a knee, burn that first time out, and then run it out the rest of the way. Going to be lining up here. It's going to be victory formation, so plan to just take a knee here.
I'd be surprised if Parkview takes a timeout after this one. It's pretty much over regardless.
Yeah, again, even Parkview making some personnel changes on that last drive, preceding the fumble as Vernon goes ahead and takes the knee. And so no timeout seems to be coming here, and so that'll be the plan. The clock will run out, and Waynesville will take their first victory here in the 2022 campaign. A bit of a slow start. First quarter, no points. But then that second and third quarter really made the difference here tonight. Some huge, long runs. Michael Kelsey Jr., Chase Thomas Plummer, they were really able to get in the secondary and do some damage here tonight between that 25 and 30-yard line.
They certainly were, and once the running backs or ball carriers in general, whether it was the quarterback or the wide receiver or again the running back, once they were able to move past that Parkview defensive line, it was trouble for the Parkview defense. Chase Thomas Plummer, I believe, ends up with 4 touchdowns on the night tonight. It was a fantastic day for him as well as several other Waynesville Tiger ball carriers. This is the game that you want to run if you are the Waynesville Tigers, and the brand new head coach, Kyle Barkley. I almost forgot our own head coach's name there for a second, but Coach Kyle Barkley loves to see this. You got a turnover, you had great defense, you had explosive runs. This was the vision Coach Barkley had going in, and I'm sure he's excited about the result.
6 touchdowns tonight coming from 2 different players. Chase Thomas Plummer, 4 touchdowns here tonight. And then Michael Kelsey Jr., he has the other couple touchdowns as the clock, 10 seconds left. That'll expire, and Waynesville will improve to 1-1 here on the season. That'll be a Waynesville winner. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take ourselves a short timeout. We'll make it a couple minutes here. Again, Garrett already hard to work on those numbers for us. We'll take a couple minutes here. We'll come back, and we'll do a bit of a pregame, or postgame, I should say, here today as we set you up for next week's matchup back home in Waynesville. So we'll go ahead and make it a 2-minute timeout here for now to start. We'll come back. We'll crunch some numbers for you. But again, final score here tonight. The Waynesville Tigers defeat the Parkview Vikings 46-22. You're listening to Waynesville Tigers football, 102.3 KOZQ. Back here once again as we start our post-game coverage here tonight. Final score, Waynesville 46, Parkview 22. A 24-point victory here tonight for Waynesville as they improve to 1-1 here on the season. A good first victory that really, Garrett, and I know you're hard at work over there crunching the numbers, but I'm going to go ahead and send it on over to you real quick if you want to go ahead and put on the headset there. I already kind of dove in too deep. It was a victory that really didn't come easy. But they stayed in as they started in on that second quarter. They broke some long runs. They started to build that confidence, especially in the third quarter. I think the third quarter was really what decided this game tonight and really kind of kept their foot on the gas until much too late in this ball game for it to really kind of matter.
It certainly was. When we were ending the first half here, the score was 14-8, I'm almost certain. And that you could see a couple Tigers hanging their heads just a little bit. There's no doubt that they wanted to come in and dominate this 27 now in a row loss team, the Parkview Vikings. They weren't able to do that, especially in the first half. I think what Coach Barkley did was basically go into the locker room at half and just say, hey, guys, we're winning. We're focused. Let's keep this going, keep this momentum. And eventually, slowly and surely, they started to break down the Parkview defense, and that turned into some huge explosive runs for both the offense and some big stops on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you kind of look at this game as a whole, it almost feels like we took on the role of the Glendale Falcons last week. It kind of feels like you leave this game, the Parkview crowd actually cheering as they leave the stadium. They're going to be happy with those 22 points. They're going to be happy with their performance in that first half. You're going to hang your hat on what was really a solid first half for Parkview with that big play at the end, but also kind of what you were able to accomplish there. Yes, there were a few players a little bit lower in the depth chart out there for Waynesville, but Cam Harris, he is definitely a special player. He showed it several times tonight, even during against the starters in the first half. He had both. He had 2 touchdown runs tonight here for the Vikings. But, of course, Waynesville were the favorite team going into this one, and they really showed it. I think this is a win you definitely are proud of. You know you have to do more against next week's much tougher opponent in Camdenton, but it's still a good win to kind of get it going here into next week's practices.
It absolutely is, against a team that you have struggled against in the past 10 years. I believe the record going in since 2010 for Waynesville was 6-5 against Parkview. That obviously moves and extends to 7-5 right now. But these are two teams who always give you a really good show, usually are kind of on similar trajectories and the waves of being really good and really trying. I don't know what I was going for there. I didn't want to say bad out loud, but unfortunately that's the word that came out of my mouth. And sometimes a little bit of rebuilding stages. That's the word that I should have gone with.
It is fair to say sometimes you struggle. Sometimes, Waynesville coming off of a 2-8 record last year. Parkview, they definitely struggled a little bit as well. But Waynesville really came out. They were the team that won the football game here today. And, of course, you'll go back to practice next week, and you'll prepare to face Camdenton, who, of course, will get you some scores on here in just a little bit. But, Garrett, I think you're done with the books here, and so I think you have some numbers. No, you don't. So, actually, we'll go ahead and transition on into some other scores. We'll really see what's going on here. I know I called you in there. I'm sorry. We'll give you a couple minutes more because we do want to get those numbers for you on Michael Kelsey Jr. and Chase Thomas Plummer. Thomas Plummer, again, 4 touchdown runs here tonight. Kelsey Thomas Jr., excuse me. How about Michael Kelsey Jr.? I combined them there for a second. Kind of, if you did, they'd be a heck of a running back. Michael Kelsey Jr., again, he had a couple of rushing touchdowns here today. But again, let's look at some scores. And again, we may not have all the finals just yet, but probably some ball games getting around to the fourth quarters as of now. A final for a district opponent. The Branson Pirates do fall here tonight to Carthage, 49-0. Lamar defeats Rogersville. That's another matchup. Number 1 team for Lamar, 28-0 over Rogersville. Webb City again. They beat Carl Junction yesterday, 47-7. And that's going to be number 3 Nevada defeating number 7 Reed Spring. One of the few ranked versus ranked matchups this week. Nevada comes out on top there, number 3 in Class 4, 34-7. Nixa defeats Neosho here tonight, 65-21. Lebanon against Hillcrest. It says 56-0 at the half. I know you are from Lebanon, Garrett, so I don't know if you've got a better update on the score, but it is at halftime. Lebanon way out in front in that one. Seneca defeats Catholic 65-0. And then we'll just go ahead and skip on down here to a very close game. This one, according to my sources here, this one's still in the third quarter, which actually doesn't shock me. It involves Glendale. 24-22 in favor of the Zizzers of West Plains. So a very close game out there And, of course, that game being played right here in Springfield over at Glendale's home turf. We'll continue to watch that one after we sign off here today. A score from Camdenton. This one not registered as final just yet, but the Kickapoo Chiefs currently leading the Camdenton Lakers there in that one, 21-11. So we'll continue to watch that one throughout tonight. Rolla defeats Bolivar 42-7 in an Ozark Conference matchup. Again, Waynesville defeats Parkview here tonight 46-22. And, well, I think that'll go ahead and do it for local scores here today. Cassville Aurora, we watched that one at the half, 42-14. Of course, special shout out to Field Kinley over there in Kansas. I just got an update from them. Of course, called some games over in Kansas for the last few years. 0-0 against Mulvane at the end of regulation. So, very defensive battle over there in Kansas here tonight. Always a good time to call some Kansas high school football. But, of course, back to Missouri here. Garrett, you continue to work on the numbers. Tell you what, we're going to take one more break. I think you're in the home stretch now. Let's go make this a 60-second timeout. We'll come back. We'll crunch some numbers. We'll wrap things up. We'll talk about where we're going next week. Don't go anywhere. Again, our final score, 46-22 in favor of Waynesville. You're listening to Waynesville Tiger Football, KOZQ 102.3. Back here once again at JFK Stadium here in Springfield. Set to wrap it up here. Again, the Waynesville Tigers, they pick up their first win of the season, 46-22 over the Parkview Vikings. Connor Harbit, Garrett Bowles back here for just one more segment. Garrett has finally finished off those books again. Very much a lot of work here tonight, especially as you rip off a couple of huge runs here tonight. But those numbers, they are certainly impressive, especially for Chase Thomas Plummer.
They certainly are, and as my calculator app on my phone continued to rise and rise in number here, I think my eyes got bigger and bigger, and my jaw dropped more and more and more. Chase Thomas Plummer, on the 14 rushes he had in this game, 283 yards on 4 touchdowns, with the longest, of course, being that 78-yard big-time run to put the Tigers up by quite a few here. It was a very impressive night for him. Also, a very impressive night for maybe a source we weren't necessarily looking for. It was Michael Kelsey Jr., Chase Thomas Plummer. That was an average of
20.2 yards per game, or yards per carry tonight.
Which is absolutely
insane.
Incredible. If a running back or any ball carrier average about 4 to 5 yards per carry, that's impressive. 20, almost unheard of, especially even at the high school level. Michael Kelsey Jr., 120 yards, longest of 67 yards, 2 touchdowns, and another notable carrier for the ball tonight. It was the quarterback, number 6, David Vernon. 26 yards, no touchdowns, but he definitely helped this team move the football.
Yeah, Vernon even had a couple of pretty darn good passes here tonight. Obviously did not complete a pass here tonight, but really should have completed 2. So again, another good game for the backs of Waynesville, and this time we're rewarded by showing up in the win column here tonight. So, of course, we look forward to next week back at home, back at Tiger Stadium in Waynesville, as the Tigers are set to face off against the Camdenton Lakers. A bit of a fun matchup there, a bit of a rivalry matchup there. Of course, last check, Camdenton was losing their matchup against Kickapoo, so they're going to come in hungry, and, of course, we know Camdenton they're considered to be one of the upper echelon teams in the Ozark Conference. They're going to come ready to play. Waynesville's going to have to be at their best if they want to come up with a victory over Camdenton.
They certainly are. Camdenton have that quarterback, Bear Shore, who can throw, who can run. He is going to be an impact player. If you're listening to us right now, hopefully that means you're listening to us next week at around the same time here. Get ready for that name, Bear Shore. That's going to be in your head, and that's going to be in your ear quite a bit next week as we take on the Camdenton Lakers.
Yeah, there's a couple of great storylines there with that Camdenton team. I'm really excited to kind of share them all with you. Know it's a rivalry matchup, but you got to give respect where respect is due. But we'll go ahead and save it for then, because we are going to go ahead and sign off here tonight. Of course, for my partner Garrett Bowles, I am Connor Harbit. Hope you enjoyed listening to this one as much as I enjoy bringing it to you here tonight. Again, your final score, Waynesville 46, Parkview 22. Until next week, you've been listening to Waynesville Tiger Football right here on 102.3 KOZQ. Good night, everybody. Be good people.